Warmly applauds not only his players out on the pitch, but all the fans inside this stadium. An important, hugely important, most important event in the club's history, marked superbly here at Old Trafford today. 5 Live and BBC Sounds then. The game is about to get underway. 6 changes for Manchester United from the 2-0 win in Bucharest against FCSB on Thursday night. I'll run you through the two teams in just a second. We are underway. Dean Henderson, a former Manchester United goalkeeper, between the sticks for Crystal Palace in this one. He's cleared the ball long downfield. Little flick on, drops on the edge of the Manchester United penalty area. Yoro scoops it away with an overhead kick. First header for Harry Maguire, clears it up to the halfway line. Maguire again with a left-footed clearance, thumps that downfield, lobbed up in the air by Lacroix for Palace. Martinez is underneath that. His header is chested down by Palace's flying fullback on the right, Daniel Munoz, and he's slightly overhit that cross, and Mazraoui collects it for Manchester United just inside his own penalty area. Passes to Ahmad. Ahmad's dribbling inside his own box. He's very nearly lost that to Ismail Assar. Just ducked out of trouble in time. Found his goalkeeper Onana, and Manchester United start to play up the left. Leon Osman.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was outstanding play from Ahmad or a bit of fortune from a guy that's actually full of confidence at the moment, dribbling in his own penalty area, but just about got away with it.
Turned it into a sweeping attack down the left-hand side. Dalot is tackled by Munoz. Dalot tries to win the ball back. He's fouled Munoz. Free kick for Crystal Palace. So Manchester United, Andre Onana in goal. Yoro, Maguire and Martinez are the 3 centre-backs. Yoro, Maguire, Martinez, the 3 centre-backs today. Mazraoui, the right wing-back. Dalot on the left-hand side. Ugarte and Bruno Fernandes in central midfield. And it's Amad Diallo and Alejandro Garnacho, both of whom came on at half-time in Bucharest on Thursday and really gave Manchester United a lift. Garnacho in particular. Kobbie Mainoo played in the sort of number 10 role there. He's pretty much the number 9, wearing the number 37. As ever for Manchester United this afternoon. Aidan Heaven and Patrick Dorgu, 2 new signings for Manchester United. Heaven, the 18-year-old defender from Arsenal. Both were brought out onto the pitch ahead of the game to be welcomed by the fans, and the first photos in the Manchester United tracksuit, so they're here watching this afternoon. Apparently David Moyes here as well, Leon, you were telling me possibly, although I've not spotted him as yet.
Yeah, so I'm told, in preparation for Everton's upcoming games after his initial being back at Everton Football Club. But I'm interested to see today how Manchester United operate with Kobbie Mainoo as what looks like this false 9, the balance that they can manage to get, because he's not going to run away from Crystal Palace's defence. He's going to come short, and how they make sure they stretch that with Ahmad and Garnacho.
Bruno Fernandes running at Crystal Palace for the moment, then stops. Little 1-2 with Dalot on the left. Back it comes to Martinez. Walking pace, flicks a little pass forward down the inside left channel. That was aimed at Garnacho. It's headed away. Mateta's gone down quite easily there. Got a little nudge in the back from Ugarte, but toppled quite gently, so no free kick given for that. Here's Martinez. Fires one into the feet of Fernandes. Fernandes keeps it moving. Out to Dalot on the left. There's Mainoo. Little flick from him. That goes astray. Lerma tries to run it out of the Crystal Palace half. Dragged back by Fernandes, who's frustrated with himself, frustrated with Manchester United, frustrated with the decision. It's very early days in this game. 3 minutes played. Manchester United 0, Crystal Palace 0.
Yeah, I thought that one was a bit soft, that decision on Bruno Fernandes. Yes, he touched Jefferson Lerma, but he certainly didn't bring him down. I thought there was more contact on Mateta moments before from Ugarte. So yeah, I'm interested now just to see how the referee's going to actually referee this. Is he going to let things go, or is he going to keep calling everything like he just tried to there?
Crystal Palace all in yellow, playing from right to left in this first half, as further applause rings around the stands here. It's actually turned into quite a nice winter's afternoon, early February, very cold and bleak and grey on the walk over a few hours ago, but the sunshine is out, bit of blue sky above us. Guéhi plays a long ball down the left wing. Maguire beats Mateta to it. Manchester United have it inside their own half. Eberechi Eze is on the bench for Crystal Palace, but that is the one change for their team today from the defeat at home to Brentford last week. Daichi Kamada, the Japanese international, comes into the team for Eze. So Kamada and Sarr in support of Mateta. Dean Henderson in goal. Their 3 centre-backs, Chris Richards, Maxence Lacroix and Marc Guéhi. Munoz and Tyreek Mitchell, the wing-backs, with Will Hughes and Jefferson Lerma in central midfield. But as we were discussing pre-match, Adam Wharton involved in a matchday squad for the first time since late October. A welcome return to the Palace squad. Still United possession inside their own half. Fernandes creeping forward, lofts a longer ball down the right, finds its target, which is Mazraoui. He takes a first touch, low left-footed pass, Mainoo. His first touch takes him wide, cut back, and then the shot is blocked from Garnacho and goes behind for the corner. But a good start by Manchester United, and Ahmad urging those United fans in the East Stand to give him a little bit more.
Yeah, really good block, important block in there from Richards as Garnacho went to shoot. It's interesting the way Manchester United have started. Both of the wing-backs in possession have gone really advanced. Bruno Fernandes dropping quite deep to play the passes in. Elusive false nine, Kobbie Mainoo popping up with a really good touch inside that penalty area before that Garnacho effort. So we'll be pleased with that, with Ruben Amorim.
First corner of the game on its way. Leon Osman with us on 5 Live this afternoon. Ahmad's delivery into the near post. Dalot leaps, heads it high. Now has that stayed in play? Mainoo bumps the defender off the ball, tries to turn and shoot. It's cleared. Yoro heads it back into the Palace area, volleyed away. Mazraoui very calmly controls that on the instep of his right boot, and Manchester United work it quickly to the left-hand side. Garnacho closed down by Munoz, rolls his pass back to Martinez, across to Ugarte. Ugarte just gets a little nudge from Will Hughes, but Manchester United have worked it out to the right. Mazraoui finds Ahmad. Ahmad is running at yellow-shirted Palace defenders, slides the pass to Mainoo, hits the shot, it's hit the outside of the post, comes back to Garnacho. Munoz slides in and gets a really important challenge in for Crystal Palace. They've cleared it for now. Ismaila Sarr is battling for the ball, and Lisandro Martinez goes running across to his left and picks up possession for Manchester United just inside the Palace half. So post struck by the home team.
Yeah, I mean, it took a slight deflection on its way through. It wasn't the crispest of hits that Kobbie Mainoo will have, but only 6 minutes into the game, and we're finding it really difficult to know where he's going to pop up. He's in some great positions, not quite on Lacroix, just coming off him, giving him a decision to make, whether he goes and steps in or whether he stays in that defensive line. Ahmad, when he's moving with the ball like that, he just worries defenders all day long, and picked out Mainoo in that space, and Manchester United very unlucky.
Yeah, it's quite a vertically challenged front three for Manchester United. There's no great height in there, but there is trickery, there is devilment, there is speed. Ahmad's given the ball away, more of a danger to his own team at the moment in his own half. Guéhi now wide on the left for Palace. Right-footed cross comes in early to the near post. Maguire hits his clearance into Bruno Fernandes, and it comes back to Onana. And Bruno Fernandes just gives Maguire a little bit of a talking to. A couple of 3 2 o'clock kickoffs in the WSL this afternoon. Everton have scored early against Leicester. One result so far today as Leon clenches his fist in the WSL. A 7-goal thriller, Manchester City 3, Arsenal 4. So Arsenal move up to second. They are 7 points behind the leaders Chelsea. Chelsea kick off at 2:30 away to Aston Villa. You can actually watch that game on BBC Two. Sarah Mulkerrins will provide the updates for us here. Over on Sports Extra, it's Brentford-Tottenham. Ahmad is running at Palace defenders again. Garnacho supports him wide on the right. Back it comes to Mainoo. Couple of touches from him. Ugarte sweeps a low pass out, doesn't find Fernandes. Munoz slides in and clears. Maguire intercepts the ball on the halfway line. And here's Martinez. Martinez across to Fernandes on the halfway line, wide on the left for Manchester United. Slow pace at the moment. Martinez just assessing his options. 8 minutes in. Manchester United 0, Crystal Palace 0. Maguire across to the 19-year-old Frenchman Yoro. Ahmad floats a pass to Ugarte, not the friendliest. Flicks a header back to Maguire, prods it to Yoro, and he goes back to his goalkeeper, Onana. Brentford, Tottenham early stages. Aaron Paul.
Brentford 0, Tottenham 0. Energetic start. We're watching virtual football tennis here as the ball's pinged from end to end. Dejan Kulusevski's at the first attempt of the game, playing a shot across the face of goal. In come Richarlison sliding through, couldn't get any purchase on it. Valdemarson was stranded. It would have certainly been a goal, but Richarlison with his head in his hands, because it is Brentford 0, Tottenham 0.
Arsenal Manchester City at 4:30 in the Premier League this afternoon. Full commentary on that one. Maguire's pass off target. Guéhi on the half volley, plays it forward. Sarr wins the header. Will Hughes thought he was fouled. Referee John Brooks agrees. Free kick. Crystal Palace just inside the Manchester United half. Latest on the cricket as well. 5th T20 international in Mumbai. Dan Norcross is watching this one.
Well, it's absolute carnage here. We have got record books strewn all over the tables. 126 for 1 India, and we've still got a ball to go in the 8th over. Tilak Verma has 23 off 12. Abhishek Sharma 85 off 30. It's the second fastest 50 ever by an Indian after Yuvraj Singh's incredible effort in the 2007 World Cup when he hit 6 sixes off Stuart Broad. It doesn't matter whether it's pace or spin, the ball is just flying into the stands. We've already had 12 sixes and we haven't even finished the 8th over yet. India 126 for 1 from 7.5 overs.
Thank you, Dan. Just seen a ball here fly into the stands, but just before flying into the stands, it very nearly, Leon Osman, flew into the top corner of Manchester United's net. I called him the flying fullback Daniel Munoz, popped up at the far post, powerful header, nearly scored.
Yeah, he did, and it was the opposite wing back that put the ball into the penalty area. It was the first real time we've seen Crystal Palace venture forward with any purpose, and as I said, what Mitchell on this left-hand side has given so much space. Mazraoui, Manchester United's wing-backs have started very aggressively and very high, so Mitchell got in that area behind Mazraoui far too easy all the time to put a really good delivery in. Bodies in the penalty area for Crystal Palace players, but it's Munoz at the back post getting over the top of Martinez, I think it was, but just couldn't quite keep his header down. But really good effort from Palace.
10 minutes gone in the first half at Old Trafford. Manchester United 0, Crystal Palace 0. It's a Manchester United free kick. Bruno Fernandes was tripped in the left back position. Anana's gone long. Mainoo's been beaten in the air. Fernandes prods the ball back into his own half, and Yoro has Kamada running towards him. He takes the ball to the right, forward to Mazraoui. Loose first touch from him, so Palace win it just inside their own half. Gehi side foots a pass back to his goalkeeper Dean Henderson, who joined Manchester United as a 14-year-old from Carlisle back in the day. Made 29 appearances for the first team, most of those under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the 2021 season, as Mitchell chases the ball down the left, but that is overhit. And Onana, who is the current Manchester United number 1, all in purple away to our left, comes out, gathers the ball and rolls it out to the feet of Yoro. 0-0.
Yeah, nice play again from Crystal Palace, cut right through the middle of Manchester United there. Nice touch. There's been a couple from Sarr, lovely cushion with the outside of his right foot, but Kamada tried to play a pass that just wasn't on, tried to go inside of Yoro rather than just play it to the feet of Mitchell, and opportunity wasted.
Just wondering if Ruben Amorim and Oliver Glasner had a chat before coming to Old Trafford today. Same coat, same tight-fitting dark trousers, same white trainers, looking very similar, the pair of them down there on the side of the pitch. 0-0 between these two teams at the moment. 0-0 at Selhurst Park back in September. After that game, Erik ten Hag claimed that Manchester United ate Crystal Palace alive in the first half, even though the game finished 0-0. Here comes Bruno Fernandes, ball at his feet, fires it low to the left-hand side. Garnacho fancies this, starts speeding in towards the penalty area, rolls it back to Fernandes, thinks about a shot, didn't quite fall for him there, so he goes back to his left, and here's Garnacho. He drops the right shoulder, holding off defenders. Fernandes there again, just outside the penalty area. Little ball looking for Garnacho. He's got his back to goal. Low cross comes into the 6-yard box, and no one attacks it really for Manchester United. Mazraoui eventually tried to get there. It's not behind for the corner.
Yeah, those are the moments when you're playing with a false 9. You don't have somebody just inside that 6-yard box just waiting for the ball to come across to tap it in. I think if United are going to play this new system, I think that's Ahmad's responsibility. I think once Garnacho gets advanced on one side, Ahmad's got to be the insurance at the back post to pop it in. He was a little bit deep and Crystal Palace were able to clear it.
Brentford 0, Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0, Crystal Palace 0. Ahmad with the corner in to the near post, headed away by Lacroix. Fernandes is there, finds Ahmad again, almost trips over the ball, keeps control of it though. Another cross into the far post. Yoro had a good chance of getting a header on goal. It's gone behind for another corner. Harry Maguire's appealing for a handball as well, so let's wait and see what happens with that. And I can tell you here on 5 Live, we're going racing shortly. The Dublin Racing Festival continues, so shortly we'll be heading there for the closing stages of the Dublin Chase. Leon Osman.
Big chance that. I think when a ball gets delivered into the penalty area in your centre half is the one it's fallen to, 6 yards out. I think you're expecting to at least trouble the goalkeeper, and he swung his head and just completely missed the ball, Yoro, and I think he's got to make contact there, and that's a potential goal for Manchester. And as it happens, it took a deflection and they get a corner.
Corner for Manchester United will come in from the left. Bruno Fernandes in his long sleeved red shirt curls that in with his right foot. Might fall for Martinez, who hits it on the volley. Another block, and behind it goes for another corner. Tyreek Mitchell feeling the after effects of that, and Manchester United keeping the pressure up. They have failed to score in the first half of 17 Premier League games this season. Considering we've only played 23 Premier League games this season, for Manchester United not to have scored in the first half of 17 of those is remarkable.
That's
really
incredible. It's an incredible statement. I mean, you expect, especially here at Old Trafford,
yeah,
you expect them to come out the traps quicker, but I've actually been here for quite a number of the games, and they always tend to start slow. It's not the case today. They've actually been pushing Crystal Palace backwards.
All the corners so far have been knocked into that sort of near post area, between the near post and the penalty spot. Ahmad from the right, not enough on that, but a little flick on at the near post. Another appeal for handball, falls to Dalot down by the byline, stands it up to the far post, headed away. Garnacho will get there first for Manchester United. Lerma's in front of him. Garnacho, right-footed, deflected cross, headed away by Mark Gahey, and as I said, we're now going to take you racing. John Hunt, the Dublin Chase.
An extraordinary race developing here, Ali, as well, because the field are well strung out. We lost El Fabiolo early, came down at the second fence, and that moment onwards left Solness clear, and he's still clear with 2 to jump. Solness leading by about 8 lengths. Chasing him in second place now is Marine Nationale, Quilixios next, and the favourite Gaelic Warrior is even further back in 4th place. It would be extraordinary if Solness could keep up this relentless gallop. He touched 35 miles an hour at one stage early on in the race, down to around 30 miles an hour now, and Marine Nationale is coming. Has he timed it beautifully? Quilixios back in 3rd place, and Gaelic Warriors a long way back in 4th place, down towards the final fence in the Dublin Chase. Solness in the hands of Danny Mullins, jumped it well. He's 1 length in front of Marine Nationale. They're 10 to 12 lengths clear of Gaelic Warrior, who's gone 3rd. Solness finds a little bit more. Tremendous effort this. Solness is driven out here, sees off the challenge of Marine Nationale, with Gaelic Warrior well beaten off. It's a big win for trainer Joseph O'Brien. Danny Mullins in the saddle, and the Ladbrokes Dublin's Chase goes to Solness, who has blitzed them from the front, made all the running.
Thank you, John. Crystal Palace attacking here. Onana's made a save. Mitchell's ball into the far post. Header away from Fernandez. Miscue volley from Lerma. Will go out for a goal kick. No, it won't. It won't.
No, it won't.
So much spin on the ball. It's gone out for a throw-in. So much going on there. It's still 0-0. There was a fabulous sound there. I'm sure I heard it, of the thundering of hooves as John was commentating on the race. And as he was doing that, Leon, Mateta was running like a thoroughbred for Crystal Palace. He took the ball, didn't he, from one penalty area to the other, and nearly fed Daniel Munoz. So we've had quite a lot of Manchester United pressure, but Palace have gone close there.
Yeah, well, actually, both teams have looked like getting the opening goal in that during that race. It was really good initially from Manchester United. Again, I've not seen them show this much desire to try and get the opening goal in a game here at Old Trafford this season. And yeah, Crystal Palace showing on the counter-attack they're prepared to run the distance. You know, it wasn't just Mateta. You had Munoz, you had Mitchell, you had Kamada, all getting forward very, very quickly, and actually ended up with Onana having to make what was a decent save, but an important save, pushing the ball away.
Yeah, low to his right-hand side. Throw in for Manchester United, midway inside their own half on the left. Down the line it goes. Mainu tries to lay it off. Fernandez ball forward, intercepted by Hughes. Quick passing from Palace. Mateta is there. Tries to take it round Yoro. Lays it off here to Mitchell again. Mitchell's shot hits the left shin of Yoro, and the ball goes spinning out of play for a throw-in to Palace on the left. Leicester City have equalised in the WSL. Everton 1, Leicester 1, with Arsenal 4-3 winners away to Manchester City. The women's football show, the highlights of the WSL, on tonight at 11:40. BBC One, so that will follow Match of the Day 2, which is on BBC One at 10:30. Repeated tomorrow morning, 7:35 I think I read. BBC 2 tomorrow morning, always available on the iPlayer as well. Let's see what Palace can do with the throw. Good recent record against Manchester United. Lerma's long throw goes drifting in towards the near post. Mazraoui heads it up in the air. United struggling to get it away. Volleyed cross into the far post. Eventually Yoro sticks a long right leg up, gets something on the ball and clears it. Munoz lobs it back into the edge of the box. Maguire's header launched towards the halfway line. Hughes wins the next header. Mitchell brings that down on his left thigh. Plays back here to Lerma, and Lerma, the Colombian international, little 1-2 with Gahey, back inside his own half and across to the American Chris Richards, who wears the number 26 on the back of his banana yellow Crystal Palace shirt.
We were talking about Wharton, weren't we, before the game, and those are the moments where he's important. When you bring the ball down, Lerma brought it down, a little bit of time, a little bit of space. He had 2 people making forward runs, one in behind, one to feet. There were 2 positive passes to make. But his instinct was just to keep the ball, to turn round, to go into Gahey, to get it back and keep possession of the ball. And I think that's why he's an important player for Crystal Palace.
Gahey under pressure from Ahmad. Ahmad thought he was going to nick the ball off Gahey there, just dragged him down. That's going to be a free kick to Palace just inside their own half. The voice you heard there was Leon Osman. He of 433 appearances for Everton, 352 of those in the Premier League. Was there at Goodison Park yesterday to watch a resounding win, and things looking much rosier at Everton Football Club at the moment. Leon, you bounced into the media room at Old Trafford today, I thought.
I haven't had many opportunities to bounce anywhere, have I, this season? So yeah, it's good to see Everton inspired by David Moyes suddenly starting to get results. It's got them involved in this conversation now, only a point or two behind Crystal Palace and behind Manchester United. So yeah, it shows what a difference, I think it's 17 days has he been in charge. Shows what a difference that can make.
WSL, Brighton 1, Palace 0 latest. Kamada scoops a little ball forward. Maguire's got it covered, chests it down. Mateta was close to him. His pass intercepted by Gahey, knocks it forward to Lerma. On the turn, finds Hughes. Hughes sees the run of Ismaila Sarr. Sarr starts a dribble, slides a pass into Kamada. One touch, it's taken him wide. Second touch, has to turn his back to goal. Back to Mitchell. Little flick on that from Sarr. It goes wide of the left post of Onana. And a slightly better strike from Tyreek Mitchell, a more confident strike, and Crystal Palace could have been 1-0 up.
Oh, so many nearlies there for Crystal Palace, and Oliver Glasden ended up pretty much with his hands on his head and on his knees. I mean, Sarr gets into a wonderful position. I spoke about playing those passes early, and he played it. Will Hughes played him a lovely one, and once Sarr dribbled through, he just overhit his pass through to Kamada, who just couldn't bring it in for his initial touch and then shot a goal. He had to turn back, played it to Mitchell, who then fired it across, and actually Sarr then gets a touch on it, which took it off the head of Mateta, who was behind him, and the pair of them have their hands on their heads, and that's a big opportunity that they stumbled over themselves to end up missing.
Was that a shot from Tyreek Mitchell, or was it sort of hit and hope, I'll hit this at pace into a dangerous area, do you think?
I think it was most likely a shot. I mean, I don't think it was ever on target. I think that's what gave his Crystal Palace teammates the opportunity to get something, and Sarr was the guy who got the delicate touch. He needed more of a touch himself, or leave it for Mateta, I think it was, who was in a better position to react given the distance from the ball.
Gahey drives a clearance forward for Palace in the left-back position. Dalot is up above Mateta. The offside flag is up against the Crystal Palace centre forward. So that'll be a free kick for Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes rolls the ball under the studs of his right boot, puts his hand on it, takes that free kick quickly. United get into their positions, and Fernandes is standing between Maguire and Martinez, and they're just knocking the ball around inside their own half.
It's how they've done it, Manchester United. As soon as they get possession of the ball, Mazraoui and Dalot go really high, really wide, end up being the most advanced players. That gives Amad and Garnacho opportunity to sort of go and find spaces. Kobbie Mainoo's dropping deep, and ends up in being alongside Ugarte, because Bruno Fernandes goes in and makes a back four alongside Maguire, Yoro and Martinez, going sort of into more fullback positions, and they just give Bruno the ball and say, go make us a pass.
Manchester United 0, Crystal Palace 0, Brentford 0, Tottenham 0, also kicked off at 2 o'clock in the Premier League. Full commentary on that game on Sports Extra. Here's Martinez wide to the left. Next break in play, we'll give you the latest on the T20 in Mumbai as well. Dan Norcross is waiting to deliver that. Let's just see what Manchester United can do here. Martinez, again walking forward. Fernandes to his right. Threads a pass through into the feet of Dalot. Dalot's overrun it. Palace have won it on the halfway line. Kamada picks up a little bit of pace, makes a dart forward, then turns back. And his pass, Will Hughes really had to stretch for that, but gets a left foot on the ball and plays it to Richards, forward to Hughes, finds a bit of space, running at Manchester United defenders, still going here, lines up the shot, eventually falls over just before he was about to strike. John Brooks didn't see anything wrong with the challenge, and Manchester United with Dalot knock it out to the left-hand side, and Bruno Fernandes plays a ball up towards the halfway line. Lacroix is there and goes back to his goalkeeper. Coming Dan Norcross watching the cricket.
Well, it's all happening here. You've come at just the right time. 145 for 3 India in the 11th over. Just gone past the halfway stage, but Abhishek Sharma has scored 100 from just 37 balls, 10 sixes. Only 2 players have scored a fast 100 between Test playing nations, David Miller and Rohit Sharma. This is quite extraordinary stuff from him. But Surya Kumar Yadav, the Indian skipper, has just got out, skying one in the air. It's a second wicket for Cars. India, though, 145 for 3 in 10.2 overs.
It's cricket, but not as I used to play it, certainly, Leon. Never had the ability to play it like that. Mainoo, little dribble from him, beat one defender, tackled inside the penalty area. Lerma, low ball forward. Mateta's got hold of that for Palace. Kamada to his left, one touch. Yoro gets an important foot on the ball for Manchester United. That's why the applause rings around the stands here at Old Trafford. Fernandes thinks about going early, floated pass towards Ahmad. He lets it bounce, chests it down, flicks it over the head of Gueye. Palace managed to scramble it away down the left-hand side. Kamada chests it, plays it back here to Mitchell. Mitchell's clearance only finds Mazraoui, and suddenly he is bringing it forward for Manchester United. Corner of the penalty area, slightly panicked there. Looked for Ahmad, and he's come wide to the right. Manchester United 0, Palace 0. Maguire to Martinez. Palace now have everyone behind the ball. Manchester United just inside the Crystal Palace half. Maguire in some lurid orange boots as Ahmad pokes a ball back to Yoro. I think we've got time to get to Brentford for the latest on Brentford Tottenham. Aaron Paul.
Yeah, we have Brentford 0, Tottenham 0. Sun beaming down here on West London, and Brentford have gone for aerial bombardment. Keane Lewis Potter with the first header. That was blocked away, but then another one for Jan Wieser deflected away. They keep trying to push Brentford. They're trying to huff, they're trying to puff, they're trying to blow this Spurs house down. It is 0-0 though.
Thank you, Aaron. Commentary over on Sports Extra. Sports Extra tonight as well has Tottenham against Manchester United in the WSL. The game kicks off at 6:45. Yoro, midway inside his own half for Manchester United. Little pass to Ugarte. Ugarte goes across to the left to Martinez. Bruno Fernandes starting a run down the left. Dalot shouts, leave it. Dalot plays back to Martinez, and Fernandes has stayed high and wide on the left-hand side. Here's Dalot just inside the Palace half, and again he and Martinez exchange a couple of passes. Mazraoui's making a run. Ball is aimed towards him, headed away by Lacroix. Might work out for Garnacho. He took it forward into the Palace area, and he has won a corner. Richards got a foot in and knocked it behind.
Yeah, it was good from Garnacho. He shouldn't have had the chance to win the corner as that ball went forward. Crystal Palace. Lacroix didn't have anybody around him. He just needed a call from his goalkeeper just to say that, you know, relax, bring the ball down, or allow it to run through you. I'll pick it up. As it did, he headed it back into play. And Garnacho was the quickest to react to the second ball, and as I said, won the corner.
20 minutes to play in the first half at Old Trafford. Manchester United building up the corner count in this first half. Still 0-0. Fernandes with his right foot, high one to the far post, aimed at Maguire. They've gone for that a couple of times. He headed it back across goal. Will Hughes clears it though for Palace. Long ball downfield. Garnacho goes sprinting back and nods it back to his goalkeeper Onana, who goes long down the inside left channel. Fernandes up, jumping with Richards. Richards wins the aerial battle. Munoz shuffles a little pass in field to Hughes. Richards forward to Lerma. Back to Hughes, who's become a real linchpin for Crystal Palace in that midfield this season. 7th season as a Premier League footballer now. Ball drops for Sarr, brings it down on his chest. Martinez was waiting for him there because he knew as soon as it came down he could time his challenge and win the ball, and now they look to release Garnacho on the left. Garnacho one-on-one with Richards, runs to his right. Richards watched the ball, slid in, got a foot on it. Back it comes to Munoz. Munoz just chips a delicate little pass down the right. It falls at the feet of Sarr. Sarr will fancy this against Martinez. Martinez just running with him alongside him. Sarr going down the right, fires the cross in too close to Onana, who catches it cleanly at his near post. Leon Osman.
Yeah, just not good enough with the cross there, but opportunities for Crystal Palace. I just feel like they're a bit more careful in possession. They're just overhitting passes to each other. They're just miscontrolling a ball. They're just, putting the teammate, making things more difficult for the teammate than they have to be. But yeah, when they do get the ball, when they do get on the counter-attack, I see opportunities that they're just a bit more careful.
Manchester United 0, Crystal Palace 0. Crystal Palace unbeaten in their last 3 Premier League games against Manchester United without conceding a goal. Ugarte was loose there. Ball got away from him, went sliding in to challenge Kamada. The ball's gone out for a throw. Crystal Palace were hoping for a free kick. Just a little bit sloppy, and Ugarte, you can see, apologises pretty much to the whole of Old Trafford. Turns around, puts his arm up and says, my fault. First goal in the Premier League this afternoon. 5 Lives Premier League Sunday has come at Brentford. Aaron Paul.
Brentford 0, Spurs 1. Heung-min Son with the corner from the far side in front of the bank of travelling Tottenham fans. It swung into the mix, and I'll tell you what, the keeper Hakon van der Malsen has it hands up, and it looked like Vito Janelt got the last touch as it flew into the back of the net. Sunlight bathing and beating down on that part of the goal, and I'm sure he's a bit blinded by Valdemarson, but Ange Postecoglou won't care. Spurs are ahead. Brentford 0, Tottenham 1.
Thank you, Aaron. Tottenham starting the day 16th in the Premier League table, 24 points, 7 points above the bottom 3. Commentary on that game continues over on Sports Extra. It has indeed gone up as a Vitaly Janelt own goal in the 29th minute. Brentford 0, Tottenham 1. Manchester United 0, Palace 0 here at Old Trafford. 15 minutes remaining in the first half. Sunshine's disappeared here. Grey skies above. Lerma's loopy long throw into the penalty area, flicked on, headed away by Fernandes. Hughes slipped as he tried to control it. Comes back to Munoz. Munoz to Lerma on the left. Little layoff from Guéhi is nice. Back to Mitchell. Early cross from him. Yoro leaning back, knocks that high in the air. Drops out of the sky. Lerma topples backwards as he heads it forwards. Mainu is deep inside the Manchester United half. Flicks a pass out to his right. Nugate just gives it a high thump downfield, and Garnacho beaten to it by Richards. But Fernandes alert to that. Gets to the loose ball first. Garnacho finds space on the left. Palace have numbers back. Step over from Garnacho on the outside. Sliding block by Munoz on the cross. Munoz picks himself up, looks up, and then hits his clearance up towards the halfway line. Nothing, though, that Mateta could do with that.
No, it took two of them there, though, to stop Garnacho. I think he lovely step over on Chris Richards the first time, and Munoz had undercovered him to make sure that Garnacho couldn't fire across, but United didn't really have anyone in the penalty area anyway. The attack was so quick, and playing without a number 9, Kobbie Mainoo is not somebody that can, bust a gut and get advanced into those positions quickly.
Manchester United with Bruno Fernandes. Ball into the Palace area. Lacroix read that. Leapt athletically. Heads it away. Garnacho kills it stone dead with his first touch. Back to Fernandes. Slides a clever little pass into the box. Dalot tries to take it past Richards. Munoz is in cover this time. Gets onto the ball. Poor clearance. Garnacho's got it. He started 5 of the last 7 games under Ruben Amorim. As I say, came off the bench on Thursday and impressed. All this talk this month about he possibly leaving the club, but here he is starting this game. United still attacking down his side on the left. Dalot has it, back to Fernandes. Martinez makes a little scurry forward. Fernandes bringing the ball across the Palace half from left to right. Martinez involved, but back it comes in the end to Maguire. And if you are just tuning into our coverage on 5 Live and BBC Sounds this afternoon, neither Højlund nor Xerxes named in the starting lineup for Manchester United, so Kobbie Mainoo is playing as the false 9. And if you're sitting on that bench, if you're Højlund and Xerxes as forwards for this club, what are you thinking there, Leo?
I'll be frustrated. That's a given. I mean, the team that have chosen to sign for to be the spearhead, the strike force, and the team that played a lot of money for me, suddenly neither of us can get a game. Never like mind myself. Sometimes if you're in a battle with a direct teammate for one position, that's one thing, but neither of you getting picked shows that the manager's not pleased with how both of you are performing at the moment. You'd rather play a midfielder in that position for the benefit of the team.
0-0, free kick Manchester United will come from deep. Bruno Fernandes stands over it. It's about 15 yards into the Palace half. Maguire and Yoro, with their height, just lurk on the far side of the field from where Fernandes is taking this. The whistle has blown. Fernandes has got his right arm in the air, runs at the ball, just flicks it over into the penalty area, aimed at Ahmad, gets beyond him, couple of bounces into the arms of Dean Henderson. They hit the post, didn't they? The sort of bobbly shot early on in this game, Manchester United, but Henderson's not really had to make a save, and Daniel Munoz is down for Crystal Palace, so we're going to get a stoppage in play. And as I was saying, Leo, we mentioned the stat in the first half of the game. Manchester United are struggling to score goals in the first half of games. They've not really tested Palace too much.
It's like they can't sustain momentum and attacks for a whole half. In the Premier League, you'll have moments of real quality, and a goal can come out of anywhere, but a large portion of goals are scored by maintaining momentum and keeping a team penned back and eventually wearing them down to score goals. And United started well, 15 minutes or so, played well in the game, and then I don't know if they took their foot off the gas, because yes, Crystal Palace have had something and one of the things going forward, but I wouldn't say Crystal Palace are really in control of the game either. It's there to be grabbed hold of, this game, and neither team's done it yet.
0-0 here. They have had a goal at Brentford. Let's get the latest from there. Aaron Paul.
Brentford 0, Spurs 1. Spurs still leading through that Vitaly Yana own goal, but Brentford so close to an equaliser. Christian Norgard crafting the ball onto a volley into a fabulous position as Spurs go in, and there's Mikey Moore. He's brought down, the ball just cleared away, but Christian Norgard with the volley beaten away by Antonin Kinski. Fabulous flying save from the Spurs keeper, but this game really is alive now. Brentford 0, Spurs 1.
Game about to get back underway here at Old Trafford. Full commentary of Arsenal against Manchester City at 4:30 on 5 Live this afternoon. John Murray and Matt Upson with that one. Henderson, Palace's goalkeeper, smashes it downfield. Maguire heads it away. Richards nods it down. Lerma on the turn, plays a ball down the right hand side. Pretty aimless that for Crystal Palace, collected by Dalot and just poke back to his goalkeeper, Onana. Out wide to Mazraoui on the right. Couple of games in the Scottish Premiership as well, kicking off at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Foul by Will Hughes. Just tugged Mainoo there as the pair of them ran for the ball. So Manchester United get the free kick. Celtic with a 10-point lead at the top of the table. Game in hand as well. They're away at Motherwell this afternoon, and it's Rangers Ross County. We'll keep you updated on those. And I can see that Liverpool have taken the lead against West Ham in the WSL. Another game that kicked off at 2 o'clock. And in fact, Villa-Chelsea must be underway in the WSL. Leaders Chelsea away at Villa. 2:30 kick-off for that one. You can watch the game on BBC Two. This is 0-0. 10 minutes left in the first half. Looks like it could be another first half without Manchester United scoring a goal. But let's see. Fernandes directing operations, the conductor of the orchestra. Side foots a pass inside his own half across to Yoro. Hair flying from Yoro as he plays forward to Mazraoui. Closed down quickly. It turns into a battle. It eventually goes out for a throw-in to Manchester United on the right. Live football coming your way midweek. Second legs of the League Cup semi-final set up beautifully. Newcastle-Arsenal, full commentary on that on Wednesday. Newcastle starting with a 2-0 lead. And then we're at Anfield on Thursday. Tottenham taking a 1-0 lead over there. Oliver Glasner stamps down in frustration because Palace could have been away on the counter-attack.
Those are the moments if they're just better in possession. It's their own fault. Crystal Palace being really poor in big moments.
Here's Garnacho. Could this be a big moment for Manchester United? Back to Fernandes, just outside the Palace penalty area. Martinez, where he deliberately pushes his pass back to Garnacho. Here's Fernandes, right-footed cross. Beats everyone inside the penalty area and goes skipping through the box and behind for a goal kick to Crystal Palace.
I think that sums up both teams at the moment. I think Bruno Fernandes getting on the ball, of just looking at him walking away frustrated. He's putting a delivery into a dangerous area, and it's Mazraoui who's the closest to being anywhere near it inside the Crystal Palace penalty area. And they've looked okay on the halfway line, Manchester United, but where it counts in Crystal Palace's penalty area, they haven't been near it. And as I said, Oliver Glasner furious down in front of us because his team have won the ball back in some really good positions, and then they're over-hitting the pass to each other, or they're giving each other a pass around their hip when if they just play a good one in front of their teammate, opportunities to get at this United back three.
Into the last 10 minutes of the first half. Leon Osman with us here at Old Trafford. Ahmad is chasing the ball up to the halfway line. Mitchell's let it go through his legs. Ahmad stumbling forward, just kept his balance, holds on to possession for Manchester United. Lovely little 1-2 with Ugarte. Ahmad's given it away now. Here's Kamada. He now slips. Ugarte falls on top of him. Kamada, I think, has hurt his ribs there because he got the full weight of Ugarte landing on him. Play continues. Manchester United with Martinez looking for the pass downfield to Mainoo. It's beyond him. Knocked back to the goalkeeper by Lacroix. Cleared by Henderson. Headed forward by Martinez. Gaze underneath it to win a header. Fernandes jumps for it, then sticks a right foot up in the air, gets a toe on the ball, all a bit scrappy here, and then Lacroix knocks it into Dalot. It goes out for a throw into Palace on the right inside their own half.
Yeah, those are pointless passes to Kobbie Mainoo. You have to play it to his feet in this position that he's playing, and you have to find where he's going to be, anticipate the spaces he's going to drop off in. You can't just play ones down the channel and hope that he can beat a centre half in there. That's bread and butter for Richards and Guehi in particular, across in the middle. They'll love it if you play those type of balls to him.
Lerma lofts one forward for Palace, falls to Ugarte eventually. Fernandes back to Martinez. Mateta is close by. Martinez plays back to Onana, who's made one save in this first half, low to his right. There was the Sarr flick header from the what we thought was a Mitchell attempted shot that went just wide of the Manchester United goal. Guehi intercepts the long ball, volleys it forward. Ugarte goes down. Lerma plays it through. Mateta could be in. Dink finish. Oh, it's just wide again. And it's gone behind for the goal kick. What are you saying there, Liam? Was there a flag?
I thought he saved it, and I think the fact that Mazraoui is hugging Onana and the reaction that Mateta's saying would tell you that the United goalkeeper got a touch on it. The referee didn't seem to see it. As you said, he's given a goal kick. Well, that was a big moment. The first time, really, we've seen a good bit of play from Lerma. The way he brought the ball down, a wonderfully weighted pass in front of Mateta to go and put him in through into that left-hand side. And I do think there's a touch. It's slight from Onana. But big chance there for Crystal Palace. Mateta will wish he's done better there. He went for a dink rather than taking the ball around a goalkeeper or a hard low finish. Tried to dink the keeper and just didn't quite get it right. 4 goals in his last 4 games. Couldn't quite finish that one. We'll check out the slow-mos at half-time to see if Onana got a crucial fingertip on it. Manchester United 0, Palace 0. Brentford 0,
Tottenham 1. 6:06 to follow all the football tonight. The Football Daily podcast as well. The Premier League review episode will be on BBC Sounds later this evening, and first thing for you tomorrow morning. And your Rugby Union Weekly, well worth a listen at the moment as well. All the reaction to the first weekend of the Six Nations. A 5 Live Rugby show follows the Monday Night Club tomorrow night on 5 Live. 5 Live Rugby from 9 o'clock. Long ball downfield, fouled by Dalot on Munoz. Free kick for Crystal Palace. A wicket's gone down in the run fest in Mumbai. Dan Norcross.
Brydon Cast has got his third. It's Shivam Dubé who made 30 off 13 balls, but the sixes still keep sailing into the stands. 182 for 4. We're only 2 balls into the 14th over. Abhishek Sharma still there on 106 not out. 182 for 4.
Fancy a bowl out there, Leon? 182 for 4 off 14 overs.
It seems. I mean, people have been knocking my bowling all over the place, so I don't think it would matter.
Mine too. Here's Henderson. Clears high downfield for Palace. Lerma heads it towards Kamada. Kamada starting ahead of Eddie Nketiah for Crystal Palace, with Eza and SA on the bench for them. Romain Esse, the recent signing from Millwall, scored with his first touch in the defeat against Brentford last week. Yoro, nice little dribble forward to Ugarte. Promising for Manchester United. Ugarte just ran out of room there. The ball's taken off him. Fernandes keeps it going for United. Dalot onto Garnacho, back onto his right foot, edge of the Palace penalty area, lays it off to Fernandes, head up, early cross, driven towards Ahmad, controls it with the studs of his left boot, works it onto the left foot, back onto the right, little cut back here, deflection, Guehi nods it away. Ahmad should get there first. Little winger knocks it back to Mazraoui. Mazraoui turns, plays it to Yoro. 4 minutes left in the first half here at Old Trafford. Still Manchester United 0, Crystal Palace 0. Maguire, low pass from him out to Ahmad. Ahmad thinks about what he's going to do, comes back to Yoro, just short of the halfway line, inside the Palace half. He goes to his left to Martinez. Back it comes to Yoro. Ahmad's in a bit of space ahead of him, wide on the right. One touch from him and back to Yoro it goes. He sets off on a run down the right. Mazraoui is out there as well, but Crystal Palace just slowly moving Manchester United back towards their own goal. And again, Fernandes drops in between his two centre-backs, gets on the ball for Manchester United. Right-footed pass to Martinez wide on the left. Dalot infield to Mainoo. Mainoo's surrounded by yellow shirts. They've worked it well because Dalot's in space, edge of the penalty area, and then he thought he had a runner on the outside. Mazraoui was waiting in the middle, and Palace are able to, well, whack a clearance into Mainoo, and it goes behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, he must have thought a Crystal Palace player that he could hear coming up on his outside shoulder was a teammate of his. Whether in a cute way a Crystal Palace player asked for it off the shoulder, we'll never know. But I was a little bit better from Manchester United. They found Kobbie Mainoo a good bit of space, good bit of roll around from Garnacho and Dalot, flick round the corner, but it's too far away from goal. When they then got it, Dalot, he was the most advanced player, 15 yards or 10 yards still outside the penalty area, with Kobbie Mainoo trying to get up and help him. It's been interesting to watch what they tried to do here in this first half. United, I'm not completely sure it's worked so far.
Tottenham still 1 up at Brentford. Remember, Tottenham taking that 1-0 lead to Anfield Thursday night. Full commentary of that League Cup semi-final second leg. Liverpool against Tottenham will be here on Friday night, because that's when the FA Cup fourth round weekend begins. We'll have full commentary on Manchester United against Leicester. This is looking like another goalless first half for Manchester United in the Premier League this season. They've got a long throw to defend. Palace have won it out on the right, level with the edge of the penalty area. Lerma is the man who delivers these. He's waiting for everyone to get into position. Tyrick Mitchell is just jogging forward towards the edge of the penalty area. United fans want him to get on with it. In it comes. Doesn't beat the first man. Dalot runs towards it, heads it out. Munoz up to Hughes, out to Lerma. Pass blocked by Dalot, goes out for another throw to Crystal Palace. And if Manchester United don't score in this game at all today, it will be 4 consecutive league games against a single opponent without scoring, for the first time since they did that against Arsenal back in the early 80s, as Lerma throws it into the box. Dalot gets a header on the ball. Ahmad is there, clears it with his left foot on the half volley. Garnacho chases. Munoz has got plenty of time to deal with it. Side foots one back to Henderson. Important first touch, and then couldn't get the clearance away as he wanted to. Under pressure, just knocks it straight out for a throw.
You know, it's actually not the worst thing the keeper will ever do there. He took a touch, realised he was under a little bit too much pressure for his own liking to kick it up the pitch, so he just passed it sideways out the pitch, allowed his team to come back and recover.
Well, All the noise you heard in the background there. Manchester United made a nonsense of the throw. It didn't reach Ugarte. Mateta had read it, came running in, got a slightly heavy touch on it, turned into a 50-50 with Mazraoui. Mazraoui got there first. Mateta knocked him over. And after all of that terrible Manchester United throw, they've actually got a free kick in a pretty good attacking position in the inside right channel late in this first half.
Yeah, most of their best work has come from pressure. Forcing the goalkeeper to play the ball sideways initially was Garnacho running 70 yards to just put him under pressure after putting Munoz under pressure, and that one again was Mazraoui reacting to a bad touch from Mateta and winning the ball back and winning a free kick.
So free kick Manchester United, 1 minute of added time on the way, which will begin now. 0-0 against Crystal Palace. Tottenham 1-up at Brentford, and Bruno Fernandes is going to deliver the free kick with that deadly right foot. Runs at the ball, high, swinging one to the far post. Maguire nods it down to Garnacho, edge of the Palace penalty area, looking to line up a right-footed shot, rolls it to Martinez, chip ball again to Maguire, again nods it down. Dalot lays it off to Garnacho. Garnacho back to the edge of the box. Martinez gets underneath it. Heavy challenge on him as he hit the shot. Sarr came in to block, but Martinez doesn't want a penalty for that. John Brooks had a good view of it, and that is probably going to be that just about for the first half.
Yeah, again, nearly moments, maybe, United trying to force something. A lot of cute passes that don't eventually build to anything. Garnacho actually, once Crystal Palace got so many players back inside that 6-yard box, just pulled it back to the edge. But I think it was set up to be probably hit with the right foot on the way in. Martinez wanted to run round it on the left, and it just gave Sarr enough chance to throw himself at it, and that's what he did. That's why there was a collision. He didn't just try and block it with his feet. He threw his whole body mid-drift at the ball and did enough to put Manchester United's Martinez off.
Dean Henderson takes the goal kick, and that's all we've got time for in the first half at Old Trafford. So this is Manchester United's 24th Premier League game of the season, and for the 18th time this season they have failed to score in the first half. Struck the post early on. Onana at the other end has made one important save. Sarr has glanced a header just wide. Mateta has gone close too for Crystal Palace. Lyon, it finished 0-0 at Selhurst Park back in September, 0-0 at half-time here. We can see Ruben Amorim just marching off down towards the tunnel. What do you think he will make of that first 45 minutes from his team?
Well, I think both managers will be satisfied in the fact that the game is still there for the taking. At 0-0, their team's not done an awful lot wrong in the first half. They've not done enough to take the lead. They've not done enough right as far as their managers are concerned. They'll be able to make a few tweaks maybe at half-time, certainly encourage their players to be better in possession. But I think, I think before we get a goal, I think we'll actually be turning to the substitutes bench. I think if the managers keep it as it is, this does look like 0-0 written all over it again. I think both managers will have to go look at their benches to make some changes to try and get the goal in the game.
Manchester United have two centre-forwards on the bench for them, if you can describe Xerxes as a centre-forward. Hoyland is there as well. Neither of them full of goals this season, nor are Manchester United. Half-time here at Old Trafford. Manchester United 0, Crystal Palace 0.
So, Leon, what have you made of Manchester United's new centre-forward?
I mean, it's hard because he's not a centre-forward, so any balls that have been kicked up from Maguire or cleared, I mean, he's not really being able to compete with that back three of Crystal Palace. Same when the balls have been knocked down the channels and he's been expected to chase it. He's also struggled when there has been a quick break to get into the penalty area quickly. But what he has been good at is what we know he's good at, dropping into spaces, getting the ball, playing on the hard turn, bringing other people into possession, into the game. But all of that's happening too far from goal as far as United's concerned. In the first 6 or 7 minutes, I think he had two moments inside the Crystal Palace penalty area. You thought, oh, here we go, maybe they have found something. But Crystal Palace quickly adjusted to find the answer to stop him playing, and since then he's not really been able to get in the game.
See, Eberechi Eze is straight out onto the pitch to warm up. Perhaps we might see him then in the second half. But actually, just from Palace's attacking point of view, Leon, they've missed chances, but it seems so easy for them to play through that back three and get opportunities in on goal like Mateta's just before half-time.
Yeah, I think it's when opposition teams are allowed to get 3v2 in the middle of the pitch, because United have, whether they're back three or a back five, they defend across, and then you've got Ugarte and Bruno Fernandes, it is today, trying to marshal that whole area. And the moment that Lerma or Hughes get the ball and Kamada or Sarr just pop into those spaces either side, Crystal Palace are able to make nice passes in there and start looking like they can create chances, like a number of teams have since that I've seen play against Manchester United. But Crystal Palace, if it was me at half-time, I'd be having a few words with a few of my teammates that if we're just better in possession, if you're a bit more careful with those through balls, Mateta will have had a lot more chances than they've actually given him in this first half. So I'm sure that'll be the message in that dressing room at half-time.
Leon, Ali, thank you very much. So Manchester United 0, Crystal Palace 0 at half-time. What about Brentford-Tottenham on 5 Sports Extra? It's half-time there, Aaron Paul.
Brentford 0, Tottenham 1, a really scrappy contest, but crucially Spurs are ahead. The goal came just before the half-hour mark. Heung-min Son with the corner from the far side. Hakon Valdemarsson deputising for the injured Mark Flecken may have miscommunicated with his defender Viti Janout, who the ball deflected off and rolled into the back of the net. In the keeper's defence, sunshine beating down on that part of the pitch, and so his vision may have been impeded. Brentford, well, they nearly equalised minutes later. Christian Norgard forcing a fabulous flying save from Antonin Kinski, and Thomas Frank's side, they are pushing and pushing Spurs, but lacking a little bit of quality in the final third. Ange Postecoglou's side, well, they've struggled, haven't they, this season, starting the day in 16th. What 3 points would do for them. Brentford 0 break.
In the Women's Super League, full time from earlier, what a game. Manchester City 3, Arsenal 4. Couple of half-times. Brighton 1, Crystal Palace 0 and Everton 1, Leicester 1. Half-time whistle is imminent in the game between Liverpool and West Ham. Liverpool leading by a goal to 0. What about the game between Aston Villa and the leaders Chelsea? Sarah Mulcairns.
20 minutes gone, Steve. It's still goalless between Villa and Chelsea. Chelsea just growing into this, starting to exert a little bit more control on this. Lauren James had a deflected effort out for a corner. Natalie Bjorn headed over from that corner. Cuthbert as well, just moments ago, had a really good effort wide. So they're just starting to get a little bit of control on this. 1 point though for their keeper, Hannah Hampton, sorry Steve, she didn't clear the ball properly from outside her area, and she had to rush backwards. Gabby Nunes put a shot in, but Hampton was able to gather it and spare her blushes. 20 minutes in, it's Villa 0, Chelsea 0.
Thank you, Sarah, and you can watch that right now if you want on BBC Two. Back to the cricket. India's record T20 score at the Wankhede is 240, Dan Norcross. Any chance?
Oh yeah, they're going to get that easily, I'd say. They've just brought up their 200 and they've still got another, 27 balls to go, and they are going great guns. We've had 16 sixes and 14 fours. It's been a clinic from Abhishek Sharma. He's just batted brilliantly, this young left-hander. This is a new look Indian side after Kohli and Rohit Sharma have retired, and the youth that has come through the IPL is just pulverising England at the moment. Jofra Archer's brought up his 50, but not in a good way. He's none for 55 with a couple of balls left in his spell. Bryden Carter's bowled exceptionally, 3 for 21 from 3, a couple of wickets for Mark Wood, but this is a very flat pitch. It's a very short series of very short boundaries. And I would have said at the start that 210, 220 was par, but I think, Steve, that record is going to fall. 202 for 5 with, 26 balls still to go, and Abhishek Sharma still there on 108 not out.
Thank you very much, Dan. It's a second half commentary on the way here on 5 Live of Manchester United 0, Crystal Palace 0, and on 5 Sports Extra of Brentford 0, Tottenham 1 in the Premier League. Arsenal versus Manchester City in full at 4:30. So we'll make our first trip of the afternoon to the Emirates after the news on 5 Live with Nick Hatfield.
The voice of the UK.
And the home of the Six Nations.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Okay, Steve, good afternoon. President Trump says tariffs on Mexico and Canada may bring some pain to the US, but will all be worth the price. Canada has announced its own 25% tariffs on US goods in retaliation. Mexico is also saying it will introduce similar retaliatory measures. Mr. Trump has also imposed 10% in extra taxes on Chinese goods. John Kunkel is a senior economics advisor at the United States Study Center.
I think one of the theories really is that the only potential break on President Trump in this area will be some sort of financial market reaction. We know he's very sensitive to the stock market. But look, broadly, I think most economists are concerned about the impact on inflation and then the impact on growth.
The government has announced 4 new laws to tackle the rise of child sexual abuse images generated by artificial intelligence. The UK will become the first country to make it illegal to possess, make or distribute AI tools designed to create child sexual abuse material. Dr. Catherine Breslin is an expert in artificial intelligence and says the technology is advancing rapidly.
A few years ago, if you wanted to create sort of image in a particular domain, it would take you a lot of work to fine-tune it to that particular use. And we're seeing less and less of that now. You can use these tools sort of out of the box. If you're using tools that companies provide, they do this training to try and align to safety values. But obviously, that can be easy to get around. People are finding ways to sort of jailbreak these models.
The British husband of a Thai woman whose body was found in the Yorkshire Dales more than 20 years ago has been arrested on suspicion of her murder. Lamduan Armitage had remained unidentified for 15 years until her family saw a news report and came forward. David Armitage, who's lived in Thailand since her death, was arrested when he returned to the UK. And a woman has died in Australia and thousands forced to flee their homes after torrential rainfall caused flooding in northern Queensland. More than 26 inches of rain has fallen in some areas in the past 24 hours. Forecasters say these could be the worst floods in the region in more than 60 years.
The Six Nations.
Here come the fireworks, here come the flames.
Rugby's greatest championship returns. Live commentary of every home nations match across BBC Sounds and the BBC Sport app.
What a game! What a finish!
Ireland can be so proud of this team.
And the Rugby Union Weekly podcast is now daily with all the best insight and analysis from the biggest names in the game.
The Six Nations.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is 5 Live Sport
with Steve Crossman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
And there's been a wicket in the cricket, Dan Norcross.
Yeah, but it's still not Abhishek Sharma. It's Rinku Singh out LBW. A lovely ball from Archer. Pitched on middle, was going to hit the top of off stump. Rinku referred it, but it was shown to be hitting. So India lose a review. They're 202 for 6 now. 4 overs left. Abhishek Sharma still there on 108, not out.
At 3, both Old Firm teams are in action in the Scottish Premiership. Leaders Celtic are at Motherwell, who are without a manager after Stuart Kettlewell left the club last week. Gavin Wallace is at Fir Park.
I am indeed, Steve. Good afternoon. And that was partly because of abuse that him and his family had received from parts of the Motherwell fan. Their chief executive, Brian Caldwell, turned down a request to come and join us on 5 Live today. He did tell Motherwell TV, though, it's not just Motherwell related, and you always get a minority of people who come to shout and swear at the football. That said, then, the team news for the Steelmen as Stevie Frail takes over today. Dom Thompson slots in. He's joined from League One side Blackpool. Luke Armstrong makes his first side. The former Carlisle and Hartlepool United player. There's 3 changes to the team that lost last week for them against St Johnstone. Celtic, though, making 4 changes to the team that lost at Villa Park midweek. McCowan, Carter Vickers, Maeda and Ralston all in for Yang, Engels, Scales and Johnston. A drop. Jota starts on the bench, and it's worth noting that Motherwell haven't won this fixture in 43 attempts.
Rangers are second. They are 10 points behind Celtic, and they host Ross County at Ibrox. Kenny Crawford.
Yeah, Steve, Rangers find themselves in a sort of no man's land at the moment in second place. 10 points behind leaders Celtic, as you say, and 13 ahead of third place Dundee United. Philippe Clement's side have won their last 3 league games, and a comfortable home victory is what the home crowd expects and craves today. They might also expect more goals from a revitalised Cyril Dessers. A striker scored 6 in his last 5 games, including that cracker at Old Trafford. John Souttar and Clinton Insiala start in the host defence today, with Ayanis Hadji coming back into midfield. As for 11th place Ross County, a shock point or 3 would be most welcome as they peer over their shoulder at bottom place St Johnstone returning to form.
In League One, there is a 3 o'clock kick-off between 20th place Bristol Rovers and Peterborough, who are in 18th. Arsenal are up to 2nd in the WSL after a 4-3 win against Manchester City at the Joy Stadium this lunchtime. Arsenal had led 2-0 and 3-2. City fought back. Stina Blackstenius got the winner 12 minutes from time. One of Arsenal's goal scorers was defender Lotte Wubben-Moy.
In the past, this has always been a tough place to come, as you say, for every team. They've got unbelievable facilities, and it's great to see that investment, but also the way that they play, this stadium suits them. So for us coming here, knowing the history of not only the rivalry but having troubles here, we knew that it was a win that we had to secure, and for our sort of morale and confidence, it allows us to get back to winning ways immediately in the league, and put the pressure on everyone else.
Now, it may only be briefly, but it does take you back up to 2nd in the WSL table. How do you see it all as a player? Do you see Chelsea as out of sight, or do you see them as a team that you can still rein in?
I'm going to use the words of Mario Caldente, who was woman of the match today. say, poco a poco, day by day. Take it as it comes. You never know what can happen, and that's the beauty of football in many ways, but also, the beauty of controlling what you can control. Do what you can, and then let the rest come. And I've got a smile on my face because who knows what can come, and that's why the fans love it. That's why we love it, and that's why we work every day for it.
What a great answer that was. Manchester City 3, Arsenal 4 in the WSL. We can only hope, John Murray, that Arsenal versus Manchester City is half as good.
Well, let's hope so. It was certainly exciting, wasn't it, when they met at the Etihad back in the early weeks of the season in that 2-2 draw. Remember how John Stones scored the equaliser in the 8th minute of added time.
Matt Upson is alongside John Murray for commentary. Afternoon, Matt.
Afternoon, Steve.
This is a proper modern day aggro needle fixture, isn't it? And we don't get that many of these anymore.
Yeah, ended up a little bit tasty, didn't it, at the Etihad in that game earlier in the season. Remember Erling Haaland's reaction, and got a little bit heated, and whether or not that will carry on into this game is two top teams, hugely competitive players, all well aware of each other and each other's capabilities, and I think it's going to be very hard fought this afternoon.
Let's be honest, Matt, we hope it does continue, don't we?
Yeah, it is good though, Steve, isn't
it's
it?
Great.
To have that kind of needle and the rivalry. We've seen it over the past. I mean, we've been at Arsenal, Manchester United over the years, and various different clubs that have that kind of rivalry, and that, different today in that usually it's probably 1 and 2, or at least 1 and 3 in the table. With Liverpool with that really big stretch lead, there's a lot of pressure on Arsenal here at home. It's going to be a tough game for them.
Yeah, I think, John Murray, we might just lean into Matt playing in the famous Arsenal-Manchester United rivalry at some point after 4 o'clock. Do you think this is bigger for Arsenal, given the week that they have? Yes,
I think just because they are so much closer to Liverpool, even though Liverpool have the lead that they do now, it does feel as though it's even more the case now that every match is a must-win match for Arsenal in the Premier League, to just try and stay in touch. So I think you'd have to say yes. And actually, just a little bit of news. I know there was a doubt over David Raya, the Arsenal goalkeeper, whether he'd be able to be involved today. Well, we've seen pictures sitting here in the commentary position. We've seen pictures from down in the stadium of the Arsenal players arriving, and David Raya is among them. So the expectation would be that he would start the match.
All right, Arsenal versus Manchester City in full at 4:30. We're ready for the start of the second half at Old Trafford. Ali.
Perfect timing, Steve. John Brooks blows his whistle. Second half gets underway. Manchester United 0, Crystal Palace 0. Manchester United in the red shirts, white shorts, black socks with the red tops, playing from right to left in the second half, shooting towards that two-tiered giant Stretford end. Kobbie Mainoo playing as the centre forward. He's tackled. Bruno Fernandes whips a low first-time pass out to Garnacho. Garnacho back to Martinez, forward to Fernandes, got his pass away, but Palace managed to intercept. They start to play out from inside their own half, and Kamada goes back to Guéhi. Guéhi almost not enough on the pass to find Mitchell. Maguire steps in well to get there ahead of Mateta. Now Ugarte, diagonal ball brought down on the volley by Garnacho, tries to take it on the outside of Richards. Richards defends well, gets it back to Henderson, the Palace goalkeeper, clears with his right foot, lobbed in the air by Martinez, nodded down to Ugarte by Maguire, and that could be a dead leg for Ugarte standing in the centre circle, because Lerma came hurtling towards him, knocked him over. Manchester United get a free kick, and there's been a goal, an early goal in the Scottish Premiership. 3 o'clock kickoffs, Motherwell Celtic, Gavin Wallace.
57 seconds on the clock when it went in, Ali. It's been all Celtic. It was a recycled ball in from Anthony Ralston from the far side, met by the head of Dyson Maeda, who headed across Balcombe in goal. Motherwell 0, Celtic 1.
Celtic starting the day with a 10-point lead, game in hand. Rangers at home to Ross County. Here's Mazraoui looking for the run of Ahmad on the right. Mitchell wins it for Palace. Mazraoui and Ugarte team up, make the tackle, and it goes out for a throw into Crystal Palace. And in about 15 minutes time or so, we'll be back racing again at the Dublin Racing Festival, the Irish champion hurdle. We're going to have commentary on that at 3:20, and then not long after that, John Murray will bring us the team news from Arsenal against Manchester City.
That'll be the time to finish me cake then, won't it? Which I haven't been able to finish it yet. No, the game got underway before I'd got all the way through it, but not much has changed with regard to this second half. A bit scrappy, a few misplaced touches and passes where I feel if they were a bit better, there's opportunity. But the message is just still sinking in now with those players. It'll maybe another minute or so before we see it come to action.
Kobbie Mainoo bringing it forward for Manchester United, finds Ahmad. Gahey goes out to try and close that down. Ahmad attacking down the right, and then the pass to Mazraoui is off target. Ugarte has to rescue it, slides in, wins the tackle, goes out for a throw-in to Palace. Let's remind you the two teams here. Andre Onana back in goal for Manchester United. Yoro, Maguire, Martinez, the three centre-backs. Mazraoui and Dalot, the wing-backs. Mazraoui on the right, Dalot on the left. Ugarte and Bruno Fernandes in central midfield. Ahmad and Garnacho as the two in behind Kobbie Mainoo, who is playing the furthest forward and got plenty of praise from his manager after the 2-0 win in Bucharest on Thursday night, where he scored his first goal of the season. Crystal Palace have Dean Henderson in goal, Richards, Lacroix and Gahey, their three centre-backs. Munoz and Mitchell, as ever, the wing-backs. Hughes and Lerma in central midfield. Eza is on the bench. Didn't think he was going to feature at all today. He's had a foot injury, and Oliver Glasner talking about just wanting to make sure he was going to be okay, but he's named amongst the subs, so it's Sarr and Kamada in behind centre-forward Mateta. Manchester United playing it around inside their own penalty area. Onana across to Yoro. Yoro out wide to Mazraoui. From deep, diagonal ball in towards the centre circle. Easy for Richards to step forward, win the header. Mateta chests it down. Good battle that between Maguire and Mateta. And this time Mateta gets the better of it because Maguire is tempted into a heavy challenge. He's missed the ball, he's fouled the man, and he's got a yellow card. Yeah, I think that's just about right. I think it's been a good battle when the ball's gone up to Mateta's body, allowing him to bring the ball down, and Harry Maguire doesn't want to give him an inch. They're going toe-to-toe physically, and just for a moment, Maguire just thought the ball was in a position he could stretch, get off his feet and go through Mateta, and Mateta was just a bit quicker to the ball, nicked it away, and then once that contact came, with the aggressive nature of the tackle, it was always going to be a yellow card. Mateta is a big man, hauled to his feet by Chris Richards, gets himself up and then gestures to the Palace fans for a little bit more support. So we'll see what Crystal Palace can do with the free kick. Then we'll get the latest on India against England in Mumbai in the 5th T20. India have already won that series by 3-1. Celtic one up at Motherwell. Rangers and Ross County goalless. Brentford Tottenham over on Sports Extra, with Tottenham leading by a goal to nil, and we've got full commentary of Arsenal Manchester City on the way. Your regular 5 Live Premier League Sunday. This is Manchester United 0, Palace 0. Daichi Kamada, Europa League winner under Oliver Glasner at Frankfurt a few seasons ago, winning the final against Rangers. Here he is with his right foot, short one to his left. Will Hughes now stands it up into the penalty. Gahey heads it across goal, and Onana stretches forward and makes the catch, runs to the edge of the box. Ahmad is sprinting away, so is Mazraoui, and Manchester United on the counter-attack. Thrilling stuff from Mazraoui, moving at speed down the right-hand side. Plays it to Ahmad. Ahmad, corner of the penalty area, low pass. Bruno Fernandes, first time, saved by Henderson, and behind it goes for the corner. Let's check in on that cricket then. Dan Norcross.
Abhishek Sharma, the man out, caught by Archer in the deep off Adil Rashid, but not before he made 135, 13 sixes, 7 fours. It's the highest score by an Indian in a T20 international. Remarkable stuff, an extraordinary innings. India 238 for 7, 10 balls left in the innings.
Thank you, Dan. Dan will keep us updated. Just watching a replay of the Dean Henderson save. Can I say nice height for him? Can I use that cliche?
Yeah,
please,
one I'd expect him to actually make a save. Good height, close enough to his body, but it's a good counter-attack from Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes having the eventual shot right on the 18-yard line, probably central of goal, so he'll probably be disappointed he didn't find a corner from there, but they've got a corner.
Grey afternoon at Old Trafford. Fernandes with this corner away to our left. In it comes, headed away by Lacroix, controlled by Mazraoui. Hits the shot, couple of deflections, through it goes for a goal kick to Crystal Palace. So Manchester United 0, Palace 0, Tottenham 1 up at Brentford.
That's probably when they've looked more dangerous though today, Manchester United, when they've had counter-attack opportunities. It was nearly a well-worked set piece from Crystal Palace. Gahey just couldn't get enough power on the header back across the 6-yard box to really trouble Onana, but then when you break, when you've got space to run into for people like Ahmad and Garnacho, Mazraoui getting forward, Bruno Fernandes backing it up, that's when you actually feel like there's an opportunity to create something rather than against the stubborn Crystal Palace back 5.
Maisie Simmons has been sent off for Brighton in the WSL. Brighton against Crystal Palace. Brighton leading by a goal to nil, and Everton, Leon, have scored a second, so they're back in front against Leicester in the WSL. Everton 2, Leicester 1.
Wonderful news.
Wonderful news for the former Everton midfielder and England international Leon Osman, watching the game at Old Trafford with us here. No messing from Maxence Lacroix. Funks a clearance with his right foot. Mazraoui wins the first header. Ugarte gets onto it in midfield. Back it comes to Martinez. Little bit more urgency about Manchester United at the start of the second half. Good pace on the pass from Dalot to Garnacho. Dalot makes the run on the outside. Garnacho brings the ball infield. Here's Martinez. Disguise on that. Finds Garnacho in the channel. Richards did well. American international. Clears with his left foot. Hughes in on Fernandes. Hughes caught Fernandes, who was coming from behind him, got him on the ankle, and that's going to be a free kick for Manchester United, about 35 yards out in a fairly central position. Still 0-0.
Yeah, again, slack play from Crystal Palace when they win the ball back. Opportunity to play the ball forward into the centre forward's feet, miss hitting the pass. United able to intercept it, and then what's the challenge between Will Hughes and Bruno Fernandes? I think Manchester United are looking for a booking here because Hughes went to ground, his leg was high, but I'm not sure there was quite enough. It wouldn't have surprised me had he booked him, but I don't think it was a necessary yellow card.
50-50 ball. Fernandes got to it just before Hughes. I mean, it could have gone the other way, that if Hughes gets there a second before Fernandes kicks in, their foot's in the same place, it'd be a yellow card.
There were a few fans in the rows in front of us that thought differently, though. Yes. Certainly gesturing to the referee, that should have been a yellow card.
John Brooks, referee, all in black. 8.5 minutes gone. Second half, 5 Live and BBC Sounds at Old Trafford. Manchester United 0, Palace 0. 10 minutes time, we're going racing again with John Hunt for the Irish champion hurdle. Ireland with the big win over England in the Six Nations yesterday. All the reaction in the Rugby Union weekly podcast. Rugby Special has the highlights. BBC 2, 6 o'clock tonight. Fernandes just chips this free kick. Maguire attacks it, nodded down. Ugarte on the volley. Good save by Henderson. Ball's loose in the 6-yard box and it rolls into the grateful arms of Dean Henderson. Or did that hit the post possibly? Either his left foot or the post. Couldn't really tell.
Yeah, it's difficult from the angle we're at. Either way, Manchester United went close there. Maybe the closest they've been since hitting the post early in the game. Well worked set piece. Back to Harry Maguire, went round the back, headed it back into a good few players, but it was Ugarte's feet it fell to. On the sidewinder volley, it was Henderson's left knee, left shin that made the save. Ricocheted off his own teammate, gratefully came back to his own hands.
Dean Henderson, former Manchester United goalkeeper, clean sheet in his last 2 games against them. Ahmad's back heel for Mainoo. Twisting and turning corner of the box. Ahmad wins it back for Manchester United. 2 yellow shirts in his way. United fans appealing for a free kick. Cross comes in. Mazraoui's trying to control it, running away from goal. Handball against Mazraoui. Free kick for Crystal Palace, and the United fans booing and jeering because they felt Ahmad was fouled before that cross came in. But the game has livened up a little. Manchester United 0, Palace 0.
Yeah, it's as you said, Manchester United, there's a bit more tempo to the game. There's a bit more urgency in what they're trying to achieve. Just seeing the replay of the challenge on Ahmad, there was an arm, Ahmad sticking his arm out to try and create his own distance. Leclerc holds it for a moment and then lets go quickly. Never a penalty kick. Even the United fans asking for it didn't sound convincing to the referee, so yeah, not given.
Match the day 2, 10:30 BBC 1 tonight. Throw in for Manchester United inside their own half on the left. Narrow little strip that is worn down there where Dalot is standing, and then you've got quite a steep drop down to the walkway that runs around the pitch. Then it's quite a long walk for the manager's back and up behind those little walls to get into the dugouts here, as Martinez hooks a clearance away with his left foot and it goes out for another throw to Crystal Palace on the right, who've won 4 of their last 5 away from home in the Premier League. Wins at Ipswich, Brighton, Leicester and West Ham, and a goalless draw at Bournemouth in the other game in that run, which, when you see what Bournemouth have been doing recently and how hard they pushed Liverpool yesterday, that in itself is a pretty impressive result. Here's Lacroix, Palace all in yellow, playing from left to right second half, looking to find a ball for Kamada down the left. Miscued pass from Mitchell, it goes out for a throw to Manchester United. Yoro receives it up towards Mainoo, laid back here to Ugarte. Rasmus Højlund warming up for Manchester United. Ball over the top towards Ahmad, takes it in his stride, and then Guehi follows, slides in, tackles, and it goes behind for a corner. And Eza is getting ready to come on for Crystal Palace. So the foot injury not that bad after all, Leon, which is good news.
Yeah, I just find it strange if you bring along a substitute and you're planning on using him for so long. You could potentially have started, unless you've got a plan that game is going to be 0-0 on the hour mark and you can give him a burst at that stage, because the game needs a burst from somewhere. It's still a little bit flat. Neither team's really grabbed hold of it. Still too much sloppiness in the game.
Corner for Manchester United. Away to our left in front of the Stretford end. Ahmad's delivery in towards the far post. Henderson all in green. stands out in the 6-yard box as he leaps and makes a good catch with both hands. Good save from the Ugarte right-footed volley as well, because that came quickly through a crowd of players. Henderson holds on. He'll be hoping to be in that first Thomas Tuchel England squad in March, as Henderson receives the ball again, edge of his own 6-yard box, and drives it down the middle of the pitch. Munoz does well to win the first header. Mateta runs onto that. Ball just gets away from Maguire, clears it. It hits Munoz, goes wide of the goal with Onana stranded in the middle of his goal. And that could have got in the bottom corner. It's gone behind for a goal kick to Manchester United. Brentford Tottenham second half. Aaron Paul.
Brentford nil, Spurs. Chances at either end though. Johan Visa has hit the crossbar from the cross from Keane Lewis Potter at the other end. Dejan Kulusevski played him, smashed his shot into the side netting. Brentford nil, Spurs 1.
Commentary continues over on Sports Extra. Tottenham Manchester United from the WSL on Sports Extra tonight. Kicks off at 6:45. Richards hoists the ball up in the air down the right hand touchline. Out of play it goes for a throw in to Manchester United. So waiting for Eza to come on for Palace. 0-0, 13 minutes gone, second half. Eza's just putting the tape round those little shin pads in place on his left shin, looking very relaxed and comfortable before coming onto the pitch here. Dalot to Martinez, back to Onana again. Onana takes one touch inside his penalty area. Palace not putting any real pressure on him, so he's going to go to his right to Yoro. Now Kamada closes in. Yoro to Mazraoui. Mazraoui thinks about a pass back to Yoro, plays it to Ugarte. Ugarte's given it away. Will Hughes has it, slides it through, nearly finds Kamada. Maguire is there to get a foot on it for Manchester United, and Ugarte this time plays to Mazraoui. Mazraoui down the middle of the field. Ahmad volleyed back heel into the path of Mainu. Ball doesn't quite come down for him. Does really well, the England international. Eventually, though, Palace have it back, and Munoz goes back to Dean Henderson. Back to the cricket, Dan Norcos.
It's over the first innings, 247 for 9 India made on the back of that 135 from Abhishek Sharma. England have only ever conceded more runs once ever in their history. That was against Australia when they conceded 248. 1 run shy, India, in the end. It's going to be one heck of a chase if England are going to get there, but it's a good pitch and these good conditions. 247 for 9 India at the end of their 20 overs.
Thank you, Dan. Manchester United 0, Crystal Palace 0. Martinez wins a tackle inside the Palace half. Throw in for Palace. Half time in the WSL. Leaders Chelsea away to Villa. Sarah Mulkerrins.
Contest. Chelsea are looking sharp on the break. Gura Wrighton should have done better from 8 yards out. She was played on by Charles late on in the half. Villa have cut through the Chelsea defence at times. The final ball letting them down. It's Villa 0, Chelsea 0.
That game is available to watch on BBC Two. Here's Kamada. Kamada's ball not enough on it. Mazraoui there for Manchester United. Lerma beats Ahmad to it. Lerma keeps his run going. Corner of the Manchester United penalty area. Right-footed effort. That's ambitious. Curls it miles wide of the target. And that's a goal kick to Manchester United. Leon Osman.
Yeah, I think this is a needed and a necessary introduction for the game, as Eza's just about to come on for Kamada. That last little section summed him up, just under hitting his pass, giving it away, no impact on the game, and just shows the influence and the importance of this man. You heard away to our right, the crowd cheering the second he stepped up from the bench, never mind actually getting onto the pitch. There's a lot of hope in Crystal Palace. 0-0 after an hour, that from this point, bringing him on, they can take control of the game.
No doubt about it. Crystal Palace's best player onto the pitch for the last half hour of the game. Kamada very neatly just folding his gloves up into a little black ball before exiting stage left. Bristol Rovers lead against Peterborough United, the one game in the EFL today. League One, James Wilson has scored. Bristol Rovers 1, Peterborough 0, and Everton 3-1 up on Leicester in the WSL. Brighton leading Palace by a goal to 0. Liverpool leading West Ham 1-0, and Arsenal 4-3 winners away to Manchester City. The highlights on the Women's Football Show tonight at 11:40. Need something to spark this game into life. How's Rangers Ross County going? Kenny Crawford.
Opening goal, Ali. Rangers 1, Ross County 0. Vaclav Cherny's shot saved by Jordan Amissa, but only rolling to the feet of Yanis Hadji. The Romania international tapped home from 6 yards. Rangers 1, Ross County 0.
Celtic 1 up at Motherwell. Rangers 1 up against Ross County. This is still 0-0. We're at Old Trafford on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Dallow's waiting to take a throw in the left back position into Bruno Fernandes. Brilliant first touch under pressure. Pass across his own penalty area to Mazraoui. Didn't see an option ahead. Comes back to Yoro. Yoro looks to his left, floats one out towards Dalot. No pace on that, so Munoz can close it down, and Dalot can only knock it in the air and out for a throw-in to Crystal Palace. Team news in at Arsenal ahead of Arsenal-Manchester City. John Murray.
Yes, Arsenal makes 7 changes back from the Champions League in midweek. The big news for them is that the goalkeeper David Raya is fit, but that's just one change from the Premier League starting lineup last weekend when Martin Odegaard was absent ill, so he comes back in for Nwaneri, who's on the bench. And for Manchester City, 3 changes from midweek, so the recent signing Marmoush, Savinho and goalkeeper Ortega, because Ederson is absent. We're told he is not fully fit, so Scott Carson is the substitute goalkeeper, and Kevin De Bruyne and Gundogan are both among the substitutes.
Thank you, John. I think they've got the right commentary teams in the right positions today. John Murray and Matt Upson in the roomy, spacious Emirates Stadium, and Leon Osman and I tucked up cosy here at Old Trafford. This game needs to improve, Leon. It's Manchester United 0, Palace 0.
Yeah, and we were hoping Eze would have an instant reaction. He's trying to ease himself into the game. Maybe all that talk of the ankle foot injury that he's got, he's not necessarily confident. He's not really run around an awful lot yet. No. One pass has come to his way, just passed it nice and comfortably backwards, but we do still have a good chunk of this game to go.
Referee John Brooks wants Crystal Palace to hurry up with the free kick. Eze takes it, header, comes back off the bar. Mateta, close range, knocks in the rebound from 2 yards out. Now Manchester United's players come towards the referee to protest about something. Bruno Fernandes is immediately booked for doing that. Mateta celebrating in front of the Crystal Palace fans. 5 goals in 5 games for him. Right spot at the right time. Free kick into the box. Looping header over Onana, hit the bar, and Mateta was there 2 yards out to make it Manchester United 0, Crystal Palace 1.
Yeah, absolutely. Talking about the reaction that we wanted. Eze taking the free kick, dropped it beautifully, as you said, over the shoulders of Mazraoui, and it's Lacroix up against Mazraoui, and Manchester United want a free kick. They feel there was enough of a nudge. It's up against, is it against Yoro? It's up against any Yoro, and there is a nudge in the back. There's an arm in the back. Is it an actual shove? I'm not so sure. I think it's just contact, just to give himself that little space to go and head the ball. I think Yoro's got to be stronger. I think he's got to make better contact with Lacroix in that moment, and he just loops his header back towards that far post of Onana. It goes over his head. It hits the crossbar, comes back, and what do you want when things like that happen? You want your centre forward sniffing around for the bits, and that's exactly what Crystal Palace had. An in-form Mateta in there to tap it in to put Crystal Palace ahead.
The goal stands. Crystal Palace lead at Old Trafford. They've won on 3 of their last 5 visits in the league at this stadium. Can they make it 4 out of 6? And if they win the game as well, they would move above Manchester United in the Premier League table. To add insult to injury, Bruno Fernandes booked for his protest after the goal.
He was very fortunate not to get a second yellow for the same thing. He got booked quite quickly for his protests in the referee's face, and he continued to do it for another 15-20 seconds after that incident in the referee's face, probably more aggressive than when he got the yellow card. That added to his frustration.
Fernandes with a cross into the Crystal Palace penalty area, so Palace have something to hold on to now. Lacroix's looping header back off the bar, Mateta sticking home the rebound. They lead Manchester United by a goal to 0. It's come up on the Premier League at Harry Maguire with the yellow card, but obviously that was earlier in the half of the challenge on Mateta. So Maguire and Fernandes, yes, both in the book for Manchester United, trailing at home by a goal to 0. The 13th Premier League game under Ruben Amorim, just 14 points from the 12 previously, and they're behind here, but they have won a free kick wide on the right. So will we see Højlund? Will we see Xerxes? What will we see from Manchester United, who trail Crystal Palace 1-0? First of all, it's a free kick on the right, which Bruno Fernandes gets ready to take. Hands on hips, still fuming undoubtedly. Agree with you though, Leon, I don't think there's enough in the challenge on Yoro to give that as a free kick for Manchester United. They're trailing 1-0. Fernandes drives that in at pace, low into the penalty area, headed up in the air, and Palace should be able to clear this. They do. Time to take you racing again here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. John Hunt with the Irish champion hurdle.
And Ali, we've got a massive anticlimax here. What was billed as a huge match between Lossiemouth and State Man is now a one-horse race, because unfortunately Lossiemouth fell at the fourth last when holding a slender advantage over State Man. As she fell, as it goes, she very nearly brought her stablemate State Man down with her. But meanwhile, at the last, State Man is up and over safely, chased home by Daddy Longlegs now in second place and Winter Fog in third place. So it is State Man to win it for Willie Mullins, his 6th win of the weekend at Grade 1 level. This is State Man's 3rd Irish champion hurdle, joining Honeysuckle, Hurricane Fly and the Great Easter Brack. But it was a bloodless victory in the end, as State Man essentially came home alone. Anyway, back for Man United with you at Old Trafford, Ali.
Thank you, John. Manchester United fans not happy here. Eza on the dribble, just lost his balance inside the penalty area. Crystal Palace leading Manchester United by 1-0. Tottenham are still 1 up at Brentford. Commentary on that is over on 5 Sports Extra. There's been another goal at Fir Park as well. Motherwell Celtic, Gavin Wallace.
And it's for the home side this time, Ali. Luke Armstrong, his first start, the former Carlisle United man, took advantage of some poor defending on the spin inside the 18-yard box, slotted home by Schmeichel. Motherwell 1, Celtic 1.
Manchester United are going to bring both centre forwards on, it looks like, at the same time. Xerxes and Hoyland waiting to come on. So Rangers leading Ross County by 1-0. Celtic now being held. Here's Mateta looking to thread one through to Eza. Yoro gives the ball away as he brought it out for Manchester United. Chipped up in the air by Munoz. Maguire's header to the left, helped on by Dalot. Mainu chests it down, not going anywhere there inside his own half. Does win a throw-in for Manchester United. Time running out for them. A quarter of the game left. Manchester United 0, Crystal Palace 1. Leon Osman.
Yeah, now Ruben Amorim looking to his bench to bring on not one but both of his centre forwards. Looks like Hoyland and Xerxes both on the touchline in front of us, trying to get a reaction, because the system he's tried to play with Kobbie Mainoo as a number 9 just hasn't worked, and at the moment Crystal Palace look a lot more likely to get the second than Manchester United to get one back. 10
Premier League defeats so far this season for Manchester United. The league is a write-off, really. Leicester coming here, FA Cup 4th round on Friday. We've got full commentary on that game as Richards floats a long ball down the right wing. Maguire chests it down. Palace fans giving him heat. Challenged by Munoz. Manchester United nearly play themselves into trouble. They have done now. Martinez loses it and Hughes just overhits the pass, looking for Munoz, who was in space inside the penalty area. It's beyond him and it's gone behind for the goal kick. Another goal at Ibrox. Kenny Crawford.
25 minutes gone. Rangers 2, Ross County 0. Yanis Hadji again, but he's not even celebrating because his free kick from 20 yards took a horrible deflection off the wall and went into the net. It's Rangers 2, Ross County 0.
Mazraoui and Mainu coming up for Hoyland and Xerxes here at Old Trafford. Just over 20 minutes to play. So Celtic being held, started the day with a 10-point lead in the Scottish Premiership and a game in hand. But Rangers looking to make ground on them, now lead Ross County by 2-0. Don't forget, full commentary on Arsenal, Manchester City on the way in just over an hour's time. And then after that, 6:06, Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage taking the calls as always. All rounded up, analysed, all the reaction in the Football Daily podcast on the BBC Sounds app later tonight and first thing tomorrow morning. So, Hoyland and Xerxes on, Leon.
Yeah, 2 changes, 2 attacking changes, but no system adjustment at all. I mean, he says he's going to stick with this back 5 system until, well, there's no until, is there? He's just going to stick with it. So Ahmad has now gone where Mazraoui was playing at right wing back. Hoyland has gone on the right hand side of the front 3 with Xerxes through the middle. Garnacho keeping that place on the left hand side where he's been for the game.
Here's Hughes, miscues a pass, gets lucky because the ball didn't run away that far. He was able to get to it again, to Eza, back to Lerma. This is inside the Manchester United half. Mitchell shovels a ball back to Gahey. Gahey falling backwards, diagonal effort from him. Dalot heads this away, but only as far as Ismaila Sarr. Little dummy from him to lose Garnacho. Garnacho gives up on that, cross into the box. Oh, Mateta nearly stuck that away. Maguire right behind him, blocks it, and Manchester United clear for now. Here's Hughes. Pass intercepted by Ugarte. Manchester United have not won back-to-back Premier League games this season. Obviously in their last Premier League game beat Fulham by 1-0. Were unconvincing in that one. Trailing Palace here. Eza on the ball, space to work with, brings it forward, challenged by Martinez, no free kick. Hoyland gets it for Manchester United. United fans up and excited. That's cynical from Will Hughes. Hoyland beat him, Hughes makes the trip. Yellow card for the Palace midfielder.
Yeah, I'm just a little bit concerned for Crystal Palace in the sense that it's very easy for them at the minute. They're having a wonderful time and there's opportunities to get the second goal, and they're being a bit lethargic in their moments. And if you don't put a game beyond your opposition when it's that easy, they're giving them an opportunity to come back and maybe get something from the game. And at the moment, Crystal Palace should have created a second major chance in this game to go 2-0 ahead. As it is, United have still got the chance with only being 1 goal behind.
Crystal Palace did the double over Manchester United last season in the league, won 1-0 here with a goal from Joachim Andersen, thumped them 4-0 when they were absolutely flying towards the end of last season. Clever flick pass from Bruno Fernandes behind him, releases Ahmad into the penalty area, back to Fernandes, dummies the shot, still Fernandes, challenge on him, he's got the ball at his feet, wall of yellow shirts, still holds onto it, turns away from goal. Ahmad in support on his right, back to Fernandes, working in tight spaces, clever from Ahmad, and then the left-footed shot is high and wide. And behind for a goal kick. Another goal at Fir Park, Gavin Wallace.
Celtic take the lead again, Ali. Motherwell 1, Celtic 2. Lovely play down this left-hand side. Dyson Mera heavily involved. Ball put in, and Adam Ida, albeit with a deflection, scores. Motherwell 1, Celtic 2.
WSL, Everton having a great afternoon. The men's team scored 4 yesterday. The women have got 4 today. Everton 4, Leicester 1. What a time to be an Everton fan, he says, with Leon Osmond sitting alongside him in the commentary box at Old Trafford. But you're right, Leon, Everton play Manchester United quite soon at Goodison Park, and actually Crystal Palace's next league game is against Everton. That's at Selhurst Park. Here's Maguire playing one forward, Munoz trying to keep it in play wide on the right, can't quite do that. Throw in for Manchester United. Just over 15 minutes to play. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. That seems to be the way it's going with Manchester United, as Dalot launches a long throw down the left, then wins a header. Xerxes just plays a ball into space, no one there. Lerma's there for Crystal Palace, takes control. Clever ball threaded through to Munoz, not the best pass from him. Maguire intercepts. Fernandes careful with his lob pass onto the chest of Højlund. Højlund to Ahmad, he's on the halfway line here for Manchester United. Hughes read the pass, played it forward to Sarr. Ugarte barges him off the ball. Now Ugarte's going to get booked, and that'll be another free kick to Crystal Palace. And Crystal Palace's away from the Premier League this season is quite something, Leon.
Yeah, they defensively look quite solid, albeit United haven't really done enough themselves. They've not really looked like being dangerous, but Crystal Palace have defended whatever they've had to, and as soon as Eze got up from the bench, they just suddenly looked like they had the confidence to go on and try and create something. They were a bit lacking in it before, as if they didn't believe it themselves, and even before he touched the ball, just getting him off the bench. Suddenly Mateta raised his game, suddenly his performance has gone through the roof. He's been outstanding in the last 10 minutes, and yeah, I can see exactly why their away form's so good.
Disgruntled Manchester United fans around us. Manchester United 0, Crystal Palace 1. Free kick for Palace. Eze from deep drives it forward, nodded down inside the 6-yard box. Nearly crept in at the far post, and Arnold was scrambling, eventually was able to let it go and breathe a sigh of relief. Goal kick for Manchester United.
Within there was a really important block from Ugarte as that ball was delivered. Wonderful delivery from deep, headed right across the 6-yard box, and it looked like, I think it was Richards.
Again? Oh, it was
it
Richards.
looked like it was Richards was going to get on the end of it, and Ugarte just stepped across him at the crucial moments. I think the first contact, you're right, it's probably, it's by Lerma this time, heads it right across that 6-yard box, and but for a very clever bit of defending by Ugarte, that could have been a tap-in for number 2.
See, that's the kind of thing to the naked eye, Leon, a lot of people in here wouldn't have seen. You spotted straight away. That is a crucial intervention which doesn't get talked about too much. Manchester United are still trailing, and Crystal Palace heading for a 4th win in 6 league games at Old Trafford. And Sarr's got away from Martinez. Assistant referee says he's fouled the Argentine, and Martinez immediately signalling to the bench that he's hurt his knee and he's going to have to come off.
Yeah, I mean, to the naked eye, it didn't look like an awful lot. It looked like Martinez tried to get on the outside shoulder of Sarri, just allowed him to go over, got himself on the inside and nicked the ball. But actually, Martinez just got his leg caught in the ground. And he knows straight away, he's done his knee in these situations before. He just got it stuck at a crucial moment as his balance went one way and Sarr was reaching for the ball. It was his left leg, I think, there.
Yeah.
And he just holds his knee straight away. I mean, they'll be delighted that a free kick was given. I'm not sure there was actually enough for a free kick, but Martinez obviously went down in a lot of pain right in front of the official, the assistant on that side. Yeah, I'm not sure it's an actual foul, but yeah, he just got his foot and his knee caught, and And that could be problems.
Yeah, being seen to at the moment. Teeth clenched in real pain, Lisandro Martinez. That'll be a big blow. He started 20 out of 24 Premier League games so far this season. So a delay in play here. 15 minutes. We're into the last 15 minutes at Old Trafford in one of the 2 o'clock kickoffs in the Premier League this afternoon. Crystal Palace are leading by a goal to nil. Mateta with it. Brentford-Tottenham ongoing as well. Aaron Paul is watching that one.
Brentford nil, Spurs 1. Spurs still leading through that Vitali Yano own goal, which felt like a long time ago. But Lucas Vergval has gone closest to their second. On for Mikey Moore, right-footed shot just outside the box. He dragged that wide. Thomas Frank, well, he's trying to roll the dice. He hasn't got many options on the bench. The new signing, Michael Coyote, is on in place of Christopher Ayer. Brentford nil, Tottenham 1. Brentford hunting for an equaliser.
Tottenham don't do 1-0 wins, do they? That seems remarkably dull for Ange Postecoglou's Tottenham. WSL, the leaders Chelsea saw Arsenal close the gap to 7 points with their 4-3 win at Manchester City earlier on today. They're at Villa this afternoon, being watched by Sarah Mulkerrins.
Just underway in the second half, and they're being held. It's goalless between Villa and Chelsea at the moment. Interestingly, Sonia Bampastor has made a half-time change. Guru Wrighton is out of attack, with Ritten Conyard coming back in, because you sense that Bampastor won't have been happy with the fact that they were unable to take their chances in the first half. You feel they should be up ahead against Villa, and they do not want to drop points in this title race. It's Villa nil, Chelsea nil.
You're not missing any football at Old Trafford at the moment. Worrying scenes here. Lisandro Martinez still flat on his back. Caught his leg in the turf. Immediately signalled to the bench he was in trouble, holding the back of his left knee. And the stretcher bearers are out there. They are ready to try and get him onto the stretcher and take him off the field here at Old Trafford. England have got some runs to make in the cricket in Mumbai. Dan Norcross.
They have. They've got to get a record-breaking chase of 248, but they've started pretty well. 17 in the first over and then 6 more in the second, all to Phil Salt. He's faced all 12 balls, England after 2, 23 without loss.
Scottish Premiership, 2 games this afternoon featuring the top 2, both kicked off at 3 o'clock. Motherwell against Celtic, being watched by Gavin Wallace.
10 minutes to half-time, Ali. Motherwell 1, Celtic 2. The opener came on 57 seconds. Dyson Maeda, reply from Luke Armstrong on 23 on his first start here at Motherwell, and Adam Eda on the half hour managed to slot home from 5 or 6 yards. Celtic looking vulnerable. Motherwell can be a little bit dangerous on the break, but the champions are leading at the moment. Motherwell 1, Celtic 2.
And from Fir Park to Ibrox, Kenny Crawford.
Yeah, it's just gone. Rangers 3, Ross County 0, and I think it's John Suter who's slammed one in at the back post when a corner wasn't cleared properly. The 2 previous ones were scored by Yanis Hadji, 18 and 25 minutes. Son of Georgie, he scored some crackers. These 2 from his son were close rangers, and one that was deflected from a free kick. And this latest one has put any hopes Ross County have of getting anything from this match to bed. Rangers 3, Ross County 0.
Back to the cricket in Mumbai, Dan Norcross.
Ben Duckett's first ball, he shanks it into the covers and is easily caught. He's gone for a duck. England 23 for 1.
OK, thank you, Dan. We're still waiting to see what's not what's going to happen to Lisandro Martinez. He's obviously badly hurt, and the Crystal Palace players are trying to stay warm. They're knocking the ball around between themselves. Loads of the Manchester United players are just gathered around their injured teammate Martinez, who's going to be loaded onto this stretcher shortly. After that, we'll have 10 minutes plus a big chunk of added time to be played. Very quiet inside Old Trafford at the moment, and it's Manchester United 0, Crystal Palace 1. John Hunt has been watching the racing, the Dublin Racing Festival this afternoon. Last we heard from John was commentating on the Irish Champion Hurdle. Further thoughts on today's action, John?
Well, many-handed really, Ali. State Man, the winner of that Irish Champion Hurdle. He's such an admirable horse, putting his name alongside some of the greats, as we said at the time, like Hurricane Fly and Honeysuckle. From that, though, we've got injury concerns ourselves about jockey Danny Mullins, who took a really nasty fall when Lossiemouth fell just in front of State Man down the back straight. We'll try and update you on Danny's condition a little bit later on, but State Man, one of the big winners today, one of 3 on the day for Willie Mullins. Ballyburn was very good, winning the Ladbrokes Novice Chase, but even better was Kopek de Board. Listen for that name as the Cheltenham Festival begins in 5 weeks' time. He's now favourite for the Supreme Novices Hurdle at Cheltenham. That's the very first race of the meeting. He was tremendously impressive. And Solness, Ali, will take on John Bon, the favourite for the Champion Chase. Solness himself, a tremendous front-running display, winning this afternoon's Dublin Chase in some style.
Thank you, John. Never nice to see this, but the reaction from the Manchester United fans and the Crystal Palace fans. Credit to them is a warm one for Lisandro Martinez. On the stretcher, strapped in, hurt his left knee, I think it was. He's got his arm across his eyes at the moment. Our producer Rob Schofield just reminded me, damaged his right knee in a game against West Ham in February last year and was out for a couple of months with that. Leon, I mean, you know, you've been out there, you've experienced the injuries, you've seen teammates go through that sort of thing. It's not nice to see, is it?
No, it's not nice. I mean, I've had it happen to me. That's not nice. It's also not nice when you've experienced it and then you see it happen to teammates and others, and you know what they've now got to go through to get back fit. We've seen it, you know, happen up and down the leagues, and you know, we always wish him all the best and hope for a speedy recovery.
That stretcher continues to make progress down the left-hand side of the pitch here at Old Trafford. The ball seemed drawn towards it there. There was a long one aimed at Rasmus Højlund. He couldn't keep it in play, so that's going to be a throw-in for Crystal Palace on the right-hand side. We hope Lossiemouth is going to be okay as well. Not my gag, yours, Leon, but you've just made the point that you are. Effectively, you are.
No, I always bet on that. Yeah, that's
do you?
L, yeah, L Aussie, L Aussie, and then mouth, which,
Aussie mouth.
you know, I use for a living now.
Perfect for you, Leon Osman. Here at Old Trafford, 5 Live in BBC Sounds. Manchester United heading towards defeat.
Always have to pay attention to the horses, as John Hunt knows, as Cheltenham starts to approach.
Yes,
followed by Aintree.
Ian Dennis is excited as well. I heard him talking about it yesterday while he was commentating on Bournemouth against Liverpool. Manchester United bringing the ball forward with young Yoro. Right-footed pass to Garnacho. Tries to go for the wall pass back to Yoro, and Yoro has to go running after that ball into his own half, so the attack completely loses momentum. De Ligt is now on for Manchester United, so while Lisandro Martinez will stretch it off, Matthijs de Ligt has come on to replace him. Free kick for Manchester United inside their own half on the right.
Yeah, we obviously had the stoppage, disappointing injury, but the whole stadium went flat because of it, and Manchester United as a team have now, it's a responsibility that they've got to try and find a way of lifting themselves, lifting the crowd, because there's still time to get back into the game.
Amad to Bruno Fernandes, scoops one up in the air. Højlund bumps into a defender inside the penalty area. Amad runs into another Palace player. Amad goes down. Crystal Palace man down as well. John Brooks steps in to sort it all out. Amad picks himself up to his feet, and it's Lacroix who's gone down, holding the back of his right leg, and we're going to get another stoppage in play. And talking about still time to score the goals, Leon, you were referencing before this game Manchester United at home against Southampton, when Southampton 1-0 up for a long part of the game. United didn't play well, and suddenly Amad hat-trick in 12 minutes or something.
Yeah, I think it was, I'd say, the 82nd minute, I think, when Amad scored his first on that occasion. And this place has the ability to come alive. If United can get one goal, even now, even this late, they could comfortably go on and win this game. So I'm sure they won't lose hope at the moment, but they have to find a moment of quality. Someone has to do something special.
Could it be here? Fernandes with the corner, right underneath the crossbar. Clawed away by Henderson. Eza is there. Onana's on the halfway line. No one anywhere near him. Will Hughes comes towards him. Onana onto his left foot. Clips it forward. Corner of the box. Richards with a free header away for Palace. Only reaches Garnacho. Plays it back to Fernandes. Cross from deep. It's a crossfield pass, in fact, which is on the spot. Amad controlled it, then slipped, and suddenly Palace comes sweeping upfield on the counter-attack. Driving forward here is Mitchell, and he took too long making his choice, didn't get the ball to Mateta, and Manchester United have won it. Dalot starts a run down the left. Christian Eriksen waiting to come on for the home team. Manchester United 0, Crystal Palace 1. And Tottenham still 1 up at Brentford. Great ball from Højlund to release Amad on the right-hand side. Guéhi comes across to try and cover the danger. Amad down by the byline, inside the penalty area. Back to De Ligt, controls it, cross in, flicked header from Hughes. Dalot went for it at the far post, couldn't get a contact on it. Chases it down the byline to try and keep it in play. It just rolls over ever so gently, and he'll go behind for another corner to Manchester United, and the home fans get up once again. So 5 minutes of the 90 to go, but plenty of added time to come beyond that as well. Brentford Tottenham over on Sports Extra, following us on 5 Live.
Ruben Amorim's furious in front of us. He wants to make a quick substitution before this corner kick. I think he wants Eriksen to take it, but the officials didn't get the board number in the board quick enough to get the substitute on, and he's not happy.
Here's the corner. Bruno Fernandes again, and it's caught easily by Henderson at his far post. Amorim down on his haunches, now stands. Eriksen is waiting to come on here, and still Manchester United trail by a goal to 0. Full commentary of Arsenal Manchester City to come. You can listen to us on the BBC Sounds app if you're on the move. Your smart speakers at home as well. Just tell them to play Radio 5 Live. Henderson holding on to the ball, the Palace goalkeeper, now launches it down the right-hand side. Ball glimmering in the floodlights above us, goes straight out for a throw-in to United. Dalot waits to take it. Ugarte comes sprinting off, and Christian Eriksen comes on to replace him. So Tottenham 1 up at Brentford. Rangers leading Ross County by 3-0, and Celtic 2-1 up at Motherwell in the Scottish Premiership, and Crystal Palace are waiting to make a double change. Nathaniel Clyne and Adam Wharton coming on here for the away team. So Adam Wharton, the 20-year-old England international, who's not been involved for the last 16 games, finally back from injury, is going to get a late look at some action here at Old Trafford, and it could be another famous win here for Crystal Palace. And you consider the start to their season, Leon, 3 points from the first 8 games. Since then they've only lost 3 of their last 15, and it's the away form in particular. So away from home, it's been 16 points from 11 games. That might be 19 from 12 after today. It's only 11 from 12 at Selhurst Park, and only 2 home wins against Tottenham and Southampton. But as it stands, moving above Manchester United in the Premier League table and looking to push on for a top half finish in this Premier League once again. Ever since they returned 2013, this is their 12th season back in the Premier League, finished between 10th and 15th every single time.
Well, I'm no surprised with Manchester United sub Eriksen, someone who can get on the ball to play a forward pass. I wondered whether Oliver Glasner, in bringing on Wharton, would take off Sarr and just put an extra body in midfield and go with Eze and Mateta up front. He didn't. It was just like for like swap. Hughes off, Wharton on. He's kept that option of them still counter-attack. He's still got Eze and Sarr and Mateta all on the pitch. I've seen so many people that come and sometimes will go defensive at this point. He hasn't.
Xerxes pass intercepted. Manchester United trailing Crystal Palace 1-0. Goal at Brentford. Which way's it gone, Aaron Paul?
And Tottenham surely have won it. Paxar played through, just dinking the ball in, and Valdemarsen's near post. Brentford 0, Tottenham 2.
Crystal Palace lead 2-0 at Old Trafford on the breakaway. Daniel Munoz released down the right-hand side, crosses into you-know-who, the big man, the centre-forward, Jean-Philippe Mateta, who gets his second of the game. It's going to be 4 wins in 6 visits to Old Trafford for Crystal Palace. Manchester United 0, Crystal Palace 2.
Oh, this one's close. Bordering offside, but it was really good play from Crystal Palace. Just positive play. Just people, I've just spoken moments ago of he was positive in not taking off his attacking players, Oliver Glasner. He's left them on the pitch. He wanted a second goal. He wanted his team to still have the ability to go in search and trouble Manchester United's defence, and Munoz just gets himself on the ball. They do well. They win the ball back from Wharton, and what does he do as soon as he touches it? Plays a really special ball forward to Sarr, who gets turned, and Munoz just makes that run in behind him. He just makes the run from really deep, runs the furthest he can forward, and Sarr realises he's making that run, plays that pass in front of him. And once he's in there, Munoz, is he going to go for goal himself? Is he going to square it? As he looks up, he had his striker in a perfect position for a tap him alongside him, picked him out, and that's Crystal Palace 2-0.
Hugely unselfish from Daniel Munoz, because as Leon says, he could have shot. He saw Mateta there. Perfect pass into his path and a thumping finish from Jean-Philippe Mateta. Manchester United have got 9 minutes to try and find themselves 2 goals. Manchester United 0, Palace 2, and Tottenham, as we heard from Aaron, 2-0 up at Brentford as well. Commentary on Arsenal, Manchester City to follow. Here's Yoro for United. Forward to Eriksen. On to Garnacho, quickly out wide to Dalot. Dalot speeding in towards the corner of the box, tackled. Garnacho picks up the loose ball, finds Eriksen. It comes back to Yoro, still inside the Palace half, and now to Maguire. So it was 3 wins in 3 for Manchester United before this game against Rangers and FCSB in the Europa League. The 1-0 win at Fulham. It's coming crashing down here at home again as Eriksen goes wide to Ahmad. Ahmad plays back to Fernandes. Fernandes with the first time cross. Dalot goes down inside the penalty area. Garnacho's low ball into the box, blocks at the near post. United fans go up for a handball. Palace try and bring it away. Fernandes intercepts that just outside the Palace penalty area. Clever turn there on the spin. Finds Ahmad. Back to Fernandes. Thought about the first time cross again. This time goes with the left-footed shot. Blocked at close range by Clyne. And Eze is able to receive that ball wide on the left. Ahmad's breathing down his neck. Eze holds him off. Passes back to Guehi. Guehi's chased by Fernandes. Clears up the left-hand touchline only as far as De Ligt, who stoops and chests the ball down. Here's Ahmad running to the edge of the penalty area. Eriksen's first-time ball finds Garnacho. Couple of touches. Suddenly a whole load of defenders in front of him. Mateta's back there as well, makes a block, and the ball goes loose. Still inside the Palace half for Dalot on the left, infield to Eriksson. Eriksson forward to Xerxes. Xerxes looking for Garnacho on the left. Garnacho just about keeps it in play. Munoz makes the tackle, and it goes behind or out for a throw-in. Is that throw-in or corner? Corner, thank you, Leo.
But the defending with so many bodies, Crystal Palace, they get players in good areas, they're physically strong. United aren't able to get a yard off them. They're winning all them battles at the moment, Palace.
Brighton 1, Palace 1 in the WSL. Latest score, late goal gone in there. Corner for Manchester United, 2-0 down. Eriksson's delivery, headed away. Ahmad thought about shooting instead. Lays it back here to Fernandes. Back to Ahmad, inside the penalty area on the right, on that left foot. Curled to the far post. Maguire's headed back across goal. Headed away. The ball's still loose inside the box, and then Ahmad has committed a foul there. Too desperate to win the ball. Has knocked his man over, and that is going to be a free kick to Crystal Palace. Half-time in the Scottish Premiership. Rangers lead Ross County 3-0. Celtic 2-1 up at Motherwell. Bristol Rovers leading Peterborough by 1-0 in League One. Tottenham closing in on victory at Brentford. They're 2-0 up there. And here, Crystal Palace are 2-0 up against Manchester United.
Yeah, probably on the swing of things, deservedly so. I think, they're the team away from home. They've been good defensively, albeit I don't think United have ever looked convincing going forward. I think they've always had a threat. I think it was their own fault that they didn't offer more in the first half, Palace. I thought they were a bit sloppy. In this last 20 minutes or so, they've really stepped the game up in an attacking sense and quite comfortable and in control. And we talked about Manchester United improving and Manchester United having won 3 on the run, but there's only one in the Premier League here at Old Trafford, and here in the Premier League in general, they really have still struggled. And Kobbie Mainoo today as that false nine playing more advanced hasn't been the answer in the Premier League, where it's more physical and demanding and the pace is a lot quicker.
Heading for a 7th defeat at home in the league this season. Liverpool, Tottenham, Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest, Newcastle, Brighton, and now Crystal Palace looking like they're going to take the spoil. 6 minutes of added time remaining. Arsenal against Manchester City in full on the way here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Richards heads the ball away for Palace. Very used to dramatic finishes at this particular football ground. Have Manchester United got it up their sleeve this afternoon? Doesn't feel like it. Garnacho tackled by Richards. Richards turns, clears the ball downfield, stays in play. Yoro comes racing back to get onto it and just immediately gives it to Eriksson. 5 minutes to go. Bruno Fernandes inside the centre circle. Jean-Philippe Mateta, 23 goals in 37 games under Oliver Glasner. Finished the season incredibly strongly last season, now on a really good run again. 6 in the last 5, and didn't score actually in the last game against Brentford, the 2-1 defeat at home. Ahmad plays it back to Fernandes. Fernandes to De Ligt on his right. Fernandes again delivers that cross just over Xerxes' head. Nodded away. Garnacho shoots. Sarr turns his back but makes the block. Yoro takes a touch. Maguire gets it on the halfway line, chased by Mateta, who looks pretty much out of puff now. Maguire to Fernandes, forward here to Højlund, not a good first touch, got away from him. Up to Mateta, suddenly bursts into life again, lays it back to Ismaila Sarr. Eriksson just gently tugs at his shirt, not enough for a free kick. Here's Lerma, miscontrol, Eriksson onto it, plays it to Xerxes. Manchester United attacking in numbers. Xerxes overhit the pass. Nacho's really got a sprint to keep that in, did really well. Kept it in, went running past the ball. Still had time to get back on the field. Play it back to Yoro. Yoro across to Fernandes. Fernandes sweeps a low ball out to Ahmad on the right. Ahmad up against Klein, knocks it past him too far. Behind it goes for a goal kick, and he just thumps the ball towards the hoardings in total and utter frustration.
Yeah, I think with Manchester United this season, I think there has been a reliance on that young man, Amad Diallo. When things haven't worked out or games haven't gone the way, he's stepped up to the forefront. He's produced a moment of magic that they so desperately need. Right from the first whistle, and you knew it wasn't his day today. He's been sloppy in possession. His nice easy passes, he's been shinned or he's been over-hitting them. And when that's happening to your most reliable player, somebody else has got to do something. At the moment, this team's not capable of it.
Full-time whistle is blown at Brentford. Aaron Paul.
Brentford 0, Spurs 2. The run is over. Spurs have their first league win since mid-December, and a clean sheet as well. Vitaly Janac's own goal gave them the lead just before half hour, and the patched-up defence stood very strong to restrict the home side. But then late on, Jed Spence clearing off the line from Fabio Carvalho. Spurs breaking down the left. Son into Sarr. for the back of the net for 2-0 and a huge win for Ange Postecoglou ahead of that League Cup semi-final second leg on Thursday night. Brentford 0, Tottenham 2.
Tottenham moved to 27 points, a full 10 points above the bottom three. Full commentary of the second leg of that League Cup semi-final here on 5 Live at Anfield on Thursday night. Second leg, Newcastle, Arsenal, full commentary on that on Wednesday night. Garnacho down by the byline for Manchester United. Back it comes to Dalot. Couple of minutes to play. United 2-0 down. Flick header from Højlund. Oh, just wide. When it's not going your way, it's not going your way. That was clever, because had to head the ball behind him, just got enough contact on it, thought it was heading for the far corner, just the wrong side of the post.
Yeah, it's not far away, that. I mean, the angle the ball's coming in from is not in the striker's favour. It's bending in towards goal. It's probably from 20 yards outside the penalty area. So he's just trying to help it on. He's heading it blind. He's facing where the ball came from. He can't see the goal. And as he heads it on, it just misses the goal frame by, inches maybe.
Our good friend Statman Dave's going to be conflicted, Leon, because he's a Manchester United fan. His team's 2-0 down, but he's got Jean-Philippe Mateta up front in the fantasy team, you see. So how do you feel about that one?
Ooh.
Here's Ahmad. Can Manchester United, well, they've got to find themselves a couple of goals in the space of a minute here now. Ericsson wide to Garnacho. Garnacho just runs into Adam Wharton, gets the ball from Munoz. Here's Wharton bringing it forward, looking for that pass out to Munoz on the right, intercepted by Dalot. Here's De Ligt on for the injured Lisandro Martinez. Another huge blow for Manchester United today to lose him. Yoro, long ball up towards Maguire, flicks it on here to Ahmad. Ahmad on the left, looking to thread one through for Højlund. That's intercepted. Lequar is there, plays it down the line for Munoz. Looks tired there, chasing that ball down the right.
That was oh no, I can't believe you've just played me that pass and I've got to chase it moment, wasn't it? He's covered an awful lot of ground today, though. Munoz, he's defended really well, sometimes 2v1. He's overcovered as centre half and got forward for the assist.
Really impressive performance from Crystal Palace away from home. They're enjoying their trips to Old Trafford in recent years. Fernandes cross, that nearly found Maguire. Headed up in the air. Garnacho controls it inside the penalty area. Acrobatics, cross into the box, bounces once, cleared away again. Here's Dalot. Dalot controls the ball inside the Palace half. Now De Ligt. De Ligt to Fernandes. Last seconds of the game, into the box, aimed at Maguire again. Richards beats him in the air. Crystal Palace desperate, not only for the win, but for the clean sheet as well. Full times in the WSL. Everton have beaten Leicester 4-1. Liverpool leading West Ham, or have beaten West Ham 1-0. Here's Fernandes. Palace fans cannot wait for the full-time whistle. Ahmad to Fernandes. Fernandes running down the right. Eza going with him. Eza blocks his cross. Fernandes wins the throw for Manchester United. But that is that at Old Trafford for today. And Manchester United have been beaten at home for the 7th time in the league this season. They've still not won back-to-back games in the Premier League, undone by a double from Jean-Philippe Mateta, and one of the best teams away from home in the Premier League. Impressive performance from Crystal Palace. They go above Manchester United in the table. And again, Leon, we were saying it in the second half, just when you think Manchester United are making progress, played well in Bucharest on Thursday night. Not impressive again today. Neither centre-forward started. Kobbie Mainoo through the middle. Couldn't break down Crystal Palace. They've lost another Premier League game.
Yeah, I mean, Manchester United was saying it's 2 steps forward and 2 steps back. But, they're impressive moments in European football against teams that you'd expect them to beat. The teams that they're supposed to be a lot better than, considering where the Premier League is at. When you come back and they play in the Premier League, it's difficult for them. They're not at the standard that a number of other teams are. And Crystal Palace, right from seeing the teams before the game, I looked and thought, fancy Crystal Palace to win this game, either here at Old Trafford, and that's the way it turned out to be. Manchester United couldn't quite get their heads and the understanding around the new system they're trying to play with Kobbie Mainoo as a false 9, with Ahmad and Garnacho either side of it. Crystal Palace worked it out quite quickly, grew into the game, and they'll be delighted with the way they were able to use Eze from the bench and just give him half an hour. He came on and made a big difference for Crystal Palace, and they thoroughly deserve to win the game. Where Manchester United going from here, I'm not so sure.
Crystal Palace move above Manchester United in the Premier League table, a point beneath Brentford, who've lost at home to Tottenham today and have won on 4 of their last 6 visits to Old Trafford. It is the Palace fans you can hear singing away in the background, and I'm just going to repeat that stat from the first half as well. So it's the first time since the early 80s, between 1981 and 83, that Manchester United have gone 4 consecutive league games against an individual opponent without scoring. Crystal Palace have kept them out again. Mateta's double has won it. Manchester United 0, Crystal Palace 2.
I've got another stat for you as well, guys, as I watch Ruben Amorim kind of half-heartedly applauding with his head down at Old Trafford. Jose Mourinho, home defeats in the league as Man United manager, 4. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, 6. Ruben Amorim, 5. So he's already lost more home games in the Premier League than Mourinho, and he's only one behind Solskjaer, Leon.
Yeah, I mean, he's got an awful lot to do, hasn't he, since when he came in. Everybody knew that, you know, it was a massive job. Nobody expected him to be hitting the ground running and getting the team forward, but you know, they still don't expect him to have lost that amount of games so soon. Expect to make it difficult. And you know, we go back to this system that he's operating in. Top players should be able to work systems out quickly. So I don't think it's the system, but I don't think they're competitive enough. I think they're not physically demanding enough. I think Crystal Palace came in, probably outran them, probably outfought them. And Manchester United are a long way off the teams that we've seen down the years over and over again. Yes, they went to Fulham and made the game. It was a pretty ugly game, that one. It wasn't good, but they somehow came away with a victory. As soon as they try and make it open, as soon as they try and go toe-to-toe with an opposition, then they're getting beat. They're being fully exposed pretty much everywhere on the pitch. And yeah, Crystal Palace look like a very good outfit here today. Well organised, strong in the proper areas of the field. Some real intelligent footballers. Sarr, Kamada, Eze when he came on to actually make the difference. And United are drastically lacking that at the moment.
Just looking, Ali, at the big smile on the face of Jean-Philippe Mateta. I've lost count of the number of times in recent years I've seen away players walking away to the right of Old Trafford, celebrating with delirious away supporters. It's becoming commonplace, but each and individual time you go there as an away fan and win, it will feel incredibly special.
Oh yeah, I mean definitely because of, you know, the tradition, the standing, the prestige of Manchester United. But we say it time and time again, it's just not that club, it's not that aura, it's just not the same place. And we know I was here a couple of weeks ago and watched Brighton quite comfortably beat Manchester United. Lost more games at home this season than they've won. Quite interesting to watch Dean Henderson as well, former Manchester United player, the goalkeeper, really pumped up with the away fans, sort of throwing his fist at them and getting the roars and enjoying that. But that was, you know, that was an impressive performance. You saw a couple of the Palace players just fall on their backs right at the end of it. The effort it took to keep shutting Manchester United down, but they've just got problems. They're just up front, haven't they? Couldn't pick his two centre forwards today, Leon and the Mainu.
No, they do. But you know, I look at the project in general, and you know, talking because the transfer window's still officially open at the moment, and you know, who might Manchester United bring in to help solve this problem? I think we're now getting into the point where people are thinking, I'm not so sure that might be too big a challenge, even within the club. I mean, Bruno Fernandes wants to be playing, winning championships and winning leagues. How long would he have to stick around here to be in a team that's going to potentially try and win something again? And now you're starting to look at Manchester United where are they at? Are they a club that's going to start bringing the best players in like they always used to, or are they going to have to start building literally from the ground up again because the best players want to go and play for other clubs in the league?
At some point, Ruben Amorim has to start to be judged on what he's got, even though what he's got clearly isn't great and hasn't been great for quite a while. So coming into this game, we talked about it beforehand, Leon. Kobbie Mainoo, brilliant as a 10 in Europe in the week. He changes his position. It's not really worked. Is now that time, or is it right that we still keep adding the caveat of what he inherited?
No, I think you have to start judging him. I mean, you know, talking about my team, David Moyes has had 4 games. He's won 3. Everton look a better outfit from it. And, you know, talking about the systems and how you're operating and are they going to get to terms with it. Crystal Palace played the same system today. Back 3, 4 across the middle. Sarr and Kamada either side of a striker. OK, United played at Kobbie Mainoo up front today as a false 9. But still the same system, so you can actually match up against your opponents, and yet they don't really seem capable of that. They're always half a yard off, or not tight enough, or not able to match what's being offered physically, not being in the right spaces. So yeah, we're certainly at the point where he's not had any real transfer windows to really establish his mark on the team. They say it takes 2 or 3 transfer windows, but I'd still expect to see better results, especially here at Old Trafford. As you mentioned, he's already lost 5 games at home and in his short spell. That is glaring, and something, yes, when you go into a club, sometimes the team might have to take a backward step before they go forward, but Manchester United feel like they've took 3 backward steps, so it's, you know, you're going to have to take 4 and 5 before you start to see improvements, and that seems a way off.
Leon, Ali, thank you very much indeed. And of those 5 home Premier League defeats, by the way, for Ruben Amorim, more than half of them are by 2-goal margin. So they're not winning, they're not picking up that many points. And also, when it comes to the end of the game, quite often they're at least 2 goals behind. We'll bring you what reaction we can from Old Trafford before commentary